You are now tuned in to your number one radio station. Violent people. Radio.
Welcome to Violent People Radio, episode 86. I am your host, Dan Rice, and I am joined by two special guest hosts. First, I have Pork. How's it going, Pork?
I miss Craig, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we're trying something new out. People are not a big fan of it so far, but I like to mix it up. We also have Tim. How's it going, Tim?
Oh, it's going great. It's happy to be on my second favorite Violent People-based podcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We don't have Sam's dead. That's known. Chris, we knew would not be here, which really hurt me because I wanted to talk about the Detroit Pistons, but he's gone. And Pat, I assume is somewhere.
Me off by not being.
Ooh, Pat is somewhere with Andrew Cheesar. I'm just sure of it.
They're broing down. Yeah, I was looking forward to having Pat and Chris here because until our pre-show ramble, I had it in my head that I was like, all right, we're going to have the Union Bros up against the literal representation of the landlord class in the real estate agent here with Dan. But then I realized talking to you that that's not, I guess that's not your main gig.
I mean, it is. I used to be a union guy. I used to work in steel mills, and
yeah,
I'm a union brother at heart. Yeah.
Yeah, but now you're, like I said, now you're just you're an instrument of the landed gentry. The landlords use you as their direct concubine. No, that's not right.
I'll go one step further. I don't know if I've talked about this. I am an actual landlord, so I am the worst.
I figured. Yeah.
Today I made one of my tenants replace the batteries in his thermostat. The things I
that
do.
Should be illegal.
I know.
That should be illegal. We're gonna be writing that one up. Taking you to the board or whatever.
I like to complain about things like that, but people love hearing landlords complain. It's like everyone loves it.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you in any of those landlord? Are you in any of those landlord Facebook groups? Those seem to be pretty cool.
I am, but there's so much worse than deathmatch fan Facebook groups.
Sure.
That's
not surprising.
People are like, how can I manipulate humans? How can I treat them terribly? It's rough. Not that I'm the most altruistic guy in the world, but I just want people. I'd like to make money and have them have a place to live, and it's all good. Some people are like, what is the most I can charge someone for the lease? And they'll just flat out ask that. They're like, oh, we've had that cold spell everywhere. They're like, oh, their heat went out. How long do I have to do anything to replace it? Can I wait a few weeks? It's like, well, no, they're cold now.
It's like the PUA Reddits, but it's instead of just trying to fuck people, you're literally trying to fuck them out of their house.
Oh man, as far as I know, I've never been on the other side of it. I don't think anyone's ever bitched about me.
No, of course not.
Oh, actually, that's not true. One guy, I publicly posted on Facebook that he left his dog when he moved out, trying to find a new owner for the dog, and that fucking set him off.
Sure.
He said I should not have posted his private business.
It is kind of funny to be yeah, right. That's kind of public. That's literally, they have to be licensed, so that's it. But it is kind of funny to be a pick me landlord, to be I'm one of the good ones, you know?
But yeah, that's me though. Pick me. What's going on, Pork?
Whoa. Pat.
I'm just laughing. What's going on?
Your hiss has gotten worse. Your background
It sounds like you're underwater.
got worse,
Oh,
and
that's not good.
I was able to turn you down a little bit. Maybe that'll
maybe that'll help.
at least now I don't hear anything bad. No, man, I'm still a bad person. I'm just like not as bad, you know. I'm one of the cool ones. Hang out with me.
Yeah.
No, in my ideal world, someone would buy everything I own, and I wouldn't have to be a landlord anymore. It's awful, and I hate it, and I'm a bad person for doing it. But I vote with unions, which in this state, not a lot of union members do. So I got that going for me. This is the politics podcast, right? The
This is
violent
this is
people.
labor. We're talking about labor relations.
Labor.
This is not politics. You know.
Okay, all right.
It's different. That's a different thing.
I think
Someone who
maybe
lives in
that's
the-
where Sam went. Maybe Sam's on strike.
Well, hey, that's fair.
As someone who lives in the UK, my relationship with Labour right now, not so great.
Oh, that's a different kind of labor. Are you in?
Different kind
are
of
you part
labor.
of the Your Party? Have you joined the Your Party or whatever?
No, the Your Party's very poorly managed. I want to, but it's a shit show. They splintered like 2 days into forming.
I
No,
guess I asked that, and as I
Green
was asking,
Party.
I was like, I don't even remember if like you live in like in England or if you're
He's
where
in
you're
England.
at.
I live in
Yeah,
London.
Okay. All right.
He's going to the electric
Your
ballroom all
Party
the
is-
time.
Well, yeah, that's true. You were talking about going to the electric ballroom. What the hell was I thinking?
And you know you can't
Can I-
travel to wrestling shows.
That's true. Especially back then, there was a major block.
Can I just say I've
Back
never
before-
been more confident an episode of VPR audio will get lost. I'm like 80% sure this episode's not coming out.
No,
That's
it's
fair.
listen, I think this thing supposedly what's happening right now is it's recording on your machines. And then at the end of it, they all get uploaded.
Is that
Is that
seems
not-
like a bad idea?
How is that
Well,
different?
How is that better?
I think it does both. Like it's recording us all
okay.
together right now, but also they're recording you on your machine and then it uploads at
Okay.
the end.
That would be
I
good.
think.
Because
Oh, you just missed Fozzie at the oh no, wait, that's not yet. February 20th. You can see Fozzie at the Electric Ballroom.
you gotta go. You
You
gotta
gotta
see
go.
Fozzy. Especially the newly re-signed Chris Jericho. I like the report that was like Fozzy dates line up so that he can be off work on like Mondays and whatever for the Raw and SmackDown, and then it was like, and then he re-signed for AEW. So actually, that probably means his schedule is not going to be great for AEW moving forward, which some people might argue is not a bad thing.
Are the fuzzy dates like the Electric Ballroom is at the same time as the All In show?
Is it? That's perfect.
I just love I mean, we're gonna be talking about them later in the big pot, but I just love people that were so psyched for Chris Jericho to come back. Will just
Right.
instantly be like, oh, I hate him. Hate
Yeah,
him, he
exactly.
sucks. It's why I want Mox to jump someday. I don't think he ever will go back, but I want him because they will
yeah.
love it so much.
Right. God, that
Conquering
would be
Hero
fun.
Returns. It'd be
Yeah.
really good. And then we'll find out that Mox is secretly 50.
Yeah, exactly.
How for the record, is anyone here secretly hiding their age, lying about their age?
When
I
in-
have been.
Okay.
I because I was I'll say because I was concerned about possible interruptions in my income. I was looking into like focus groups and those websites where you do like surveys for cash, and I was like filling out all the intake forms, like lying, fudging my age just slightly to try to stay inside like the key demographic, to be like, yeah, I'm whatever it is, 18 to 34 or whatever it is that you people care about.
This is so stupid. McCormick, I guess, will send out spices and sauces to you and like take surveys on it. And I've been a part
And
of
your
the
white ass
website.
is not interested.
No, I'm very interested. I've been a part of the website for 2 years. Once every 2 weeks, they send me a survey to take. And at the end of every two weeks, when I do the survey, they go, "You do not fit our criteria. Thanks anyway." I've
Oh,
never been
you know
sent
who
a
does?
single thing.
You know who fucks with me on that always is the Nielsen, like the ratings people. They send me the shit like once every like 1.5 to 2 years. I fill it all out. I get super excited because I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna finally do my part as a proud, Fed knight to bump up the ratings for fucking, 205 Live or whatever the fuck show. I'm gonna finally stand up for WWE. And then like a week later, they send me like a crisp, 3 $1 bills in an envelope and say, unfortunately, you have not been, selected this time.
They're still doing the dollar bill gimmick because I was in Nielsen
Yeah.
House when I was a kid, and that's what got my mom. She was like, "Oh, they sent $1." And then she filled it out, and then we were a Nielsen House, so they would send like $20 like every few months or something. Um, I'm interested now how they do it because back then it was so funny. It was literally a box on top of every TV with like these really hard to push buttons that were on top where you'd have to say like I was number 2, and so if I watched TV, I had to hit the number 2 button down. And then there was like 9 buttons total. So like the 3 of us that lived in the house, me, my mom, my brother, and then we could have up to 6 guests. And you have to like jot in a notebook the age and gender of your guest and then turn that in every so often.
Oh, wait, that's how that works?
It's so stupid. I was a child and I handled all of it for my mom and my little brother. And it's so stupid. I would
should
always say 9 people were watching Nitro every week. Nitro and Raw. I was like, we're all
I
watching
just
it. And like I'm like, I'm part of the boom.
I just assumed they had like of like a sense. Why am I blanking on that word? Census information and
Sensors?
you
Yeah.
and use that to track who was watching. I didn't realize people were
N-
writing in.
It's random families. I mean, I assume now there may be some a better technology than this is 20 years ago plus that I'm talking about, but yeah, it was buttons and a notebook when I did it.
So they have both now. They have like a set-top box option, and they have like people who fill out books still. They also do it like for the radio, for a bunch of stuff, this and that. But it was funny because as we were talking about it, I had like a joke idea, and it kind of played perfectly into like Patrick not knowing the Nielsen ins and outs. Is like being in the UK, you weren't a Nielsen household, but your family was a Harry Nielsen household. But then I'm like, I guess he's American. He just is popular in the UK. Like he's not. I don't know how that would
Are, are, we-
necessarily make
are we
sense.
s- are we skipping over being called Patrick?
Yeah, I thought that was
Oh,
interesting.
I said Padraig. I was trying to say because I have like a really.
Still wrong.
I've always. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Um, This is the thing. Okay, I was told that that's what your name was, so I have this like thing in my head still that that's my default that I go to.
Who
Even
told
though I
you?
know that it's Porrick. I don't know. I honestly don't know
Well,
who told
there
me
was
that.
an episode of VPR where I called you Pat repeatedly, right?
Yes, that is true.
And
Yeah,
right
that's
now
'cause
you have
you're
your Sam written down, or your name written down as Sam, so that's not helpful.
That's true. That's not helping.
Oh, because what? The way it's spelt makes it easier.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Oh,
So anyways, sorry about that one.
I think this is the longest we've gone on a VPL without actually talking about wrestling.
which probably
We
means
talked
it's the
about
best
wrestling
episode we've
in
ever
there.
done. Yeah, the
We
Nielsen's
talked about wrestling
and
a ton in there.
yeah, Chris
There was
Jericho, Fozzy.
yeah.
We've
Talked
covered
about
all the
Chris
big
Jer-
topics.
Well, I guess we were talking about Fozzy more than Chris Jericho as a wrestler. Let's see what else.
Fozzie Bear. Let's
Whatever. It
get into
doesn't
the
matter.
new Muppet special.
Oh, does this mean the Jericho Cruise is more likely to be back on? Should I go ahead and put my deposit down?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I've been worried about it because I was choosing
Well, the
between going
issue.
on the Jericho Cruise or the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship Cruise.
Okay. I would think. See, maybe you would go on like a cruise for The Offspring, the seminal, novelty punk band, The Offspring. Go on their cruise, maybe. Seems like a Dan kind of vibe.
There was an emo cruise I've been seeing a lot of clips from
Oh my
recently.
god, that's
And
the emo stuff.
features a lot of it featured, well, maybe not, but I've been seeing a lot of the clips from the emo stand-up, and it's something. I might jump
Okay.
overboard.
Now, if it was an emo Phillips cruise, I'd sign me up.
I always get advertisements for like Big Brother cruises because I'm a fan of the show. It's just like it's never the people you remember on that show who are doing the cruises. It's like I got voted out week 3 and I'm on the cruise.
There's a Johnny Fairplay cruise. A lot of people are
Okay,
excited for that one this year.
is that real? Because the
No.
whole
No, of
VPR
course
will be
not,
on it.
no.
Oh my god. I knew you were fucking with me, but I'm like, what if he isn't?
I mean, it might be real. I wouldn't fucking know about it if it was.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And I think about all the emo bands that I'd want to be on a cruise with, like probably legally can't like be on cruises.
Well,
or
they
you don't
can
want to
as
be on
long
with
as
them, they
it's
can't.
18
International waters.
plus.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there it is.
Probably
As long as
more
it's 18
legal
plus, they could be there.
for them to be on a
Yeah.
cruise.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
There's no law out there. We're going on the Lost Prophets cruise, folks. We're all excited for
Ooh,
it.
God.
Oh no,
Listen, there might not be.
Johnny
You don't want to like. Oh, go ahead.
I've got big news. There has been and potentially could be a Johnny Fairplay cruise.
Hell yeah.
That's what we're about here. I'm looking forward to Chris writing his Johnny Fairplay piece for the site. Maybe that's why he took the night off. Maybe he's working on it.
Oh,
That's
he's
what I'm
working
gonna
on it.
assume.
He's tuning
Yeah.
it out. Yeah. I was hoping to have Chris here, because I had some
Thanks.
lucha-esque questions to ask him about. Not really, but sort of.
I mean,
And I needed his knowledge base.
but the good thing about him not being here is I can just say like Johnny Fairplay article coming this week. And like whatever you think he feels about lucha, that's how he feels. Just announce it. He's not here.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
that's
can
true.
also announce the return of Lucha Roundups coming also this week.
He's doing it weekly now.
Yes.
Once a week,
He's
every week, he will
rejiggering-
cover all of the lucha.
He's changing the format again. Back to kind of more closely aligned with the original format, but again, more. He said, I was trying to step back and do less, but I realized the problem was not that I was doing too much, but that I was not doing enough.
All right, so you have that to look forward to. So I guess we started with the plugs. So Pork's right. We could talk about wrestling. So Pork, you're so
Okay,
excited
so-
about it. What wrestling have you been watching this week? Ugh.
I was going to say, instead of looking forward, let's look backwards at some
There you go.
wrestling that we've seen that happened before this.
Then the question isn't what wrestling have I watched, it's what wrestling haven't I watched. Quite a lot. No, what I have
Most of it.
watched, I think I did that joke on the last VPR I was on. But,
It got
I
me. It
watched-
got me again. If you did, so
I watched Jesus. Manders versus Mad Dog, the new cage match from the J Cup. It's good. It's not their best match. It's not even their second best match, but it's a pretty good match. It's a cage match, but the cage didn't have a door, which I think is odd
I think that's good.
because they just immediately left the cage. There was no fight. There was no struggle. It's just like a minute into the match, we'll just leave the cage.
Wait, that's the opposite of what I thought. When you said there's no door, I was like, good, they're
No,
stuck
no.
inside the ring in the cage.
No,
like,
no.
what is that?
No.
There's
It's
just
just
a
like
giant
an
opening. There's just a big hole.
Yeah, like where the door should be, they've taken it off its hinges.
That's embarrassing, I will say. Not a fan of doing that. But
No.
you know, it does. You know what I will say is that I think that was actually, again, this is the politics podcast. We have prominent leftist Timothy Buckner on the podcast. So I will say that was actually what that probably was an intentional reference to the fact that like border walls don't work. So you might as well just have a giant hole in them because people can just come and go. The physical wall does nothing. So yeah, I will say like I appreciate that as an anti-ICE message that that woke king, GCW offshoot JCW message was sending.
I mean, I think the reason that Mad Dog wasn't on Dynamite is because he's anti-ice.
Right.
did you watch the Mad Dog tag match from night 2?
No, I haven't watched anything else from the J Cup. of either of the shows. I will say, to my criticism of the lack of thought, the cage, what I will say is it felt very thrown together. Like it's a very not stable cage,
I say
almost
rickety, I think.
yeah, Rickety's a good, almost Savage Lawler-esque. That really added to it. Yeah, this match pretty good. There's some. Sorry, go.
Oh, I was gonna say that's a positive when you have people that are gonna do some like dumb high flying on the cage, like when like any one of the Southern Indies between like what is it, Wildcat, NWA Wild Side, I should say. I have to say the full
Well,
name to get it right, otherwise I'm like
I think
Wildcat. What the fuck am I
I
talking about?
think
Or
Wildcats
Anarchy.
is the school from High School Musical.
Yeah. Like those kind of companies where they would have someone like an Azrael or a Slim J who's going to do something stupid off the top of a rickety ass cage is cool. But when it's like Manders and Mad Dog and nobody's going to do something off of it, and basically the cage being rickety and shitty, all it means is that like when Manders throws Mad Dog into the cage, you just watch it and go like, yeah, I think it's going to break. Or you go like, yeah, he has to be extra careful so it doesn't break. So it kind of makes this all look like bullshit. Like that's a negative. But when a cage is super rickety and you've got like a Jack Evans-esque wrestler who's like, I'm still gonna jump off it even though it's fucking insane to do this, that's cool.
There was
Yeah.
one spot where, or a couple spots where, like, they would use the cage almost like a rope because, like, you could just like bounce off of it, and I thought that was funny. So, like,
That is kind of cool.
he would throw Mad Dog into it and then throw him into the suplex or whatever because the cage just kind of like bends.
Yeah, a lot of give.
My hot take was gonna be that the cage match was probably better, but the tag match was more fun because of how much Mad Dog bled. He gets cut real bad by a chair in that tag match, and is lots
Uh,
of blood, and it's cool.
My hot take is Paul House match better than this match.
There we go. Now we're talking.
That's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I double regret that I didn't set up because I was almost going to set up being able to have a soundboard for this, and I found some old clips from like old backyard wrestling days. So the fact that you had mentioned Makabe earlier on accident, I do have a pretty good drop of Scott the recently unfortunately deceased Scott Henson saying plasma is shooting out of Daniel Makabe that I would have been perfect to drop here. So just imagine that I did.
what, the soundboard not working on VPR? Well, couldn't see some things ain't
What
changing.
is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, in this match, I thought the chop exchanges were very, like, chop exchanges can be so boring, just fluff in wrestling these days.
Right on time.
It took me so long to figure out how to do that. I wonder if the listeners will hear it. That's like the real question. Who knows?
I know, but the chop exchanges in this felt very brutal, very hard hitting. There's multiple chops in this that got me to like physically say like, damn. There's going to the ending, Mad Dog saying live your truth, and he's like, no, live your truth, bitch. It's like, okay, people, can we? Are we Seth Rollins? What the fuck's going on
Not
here?
everything. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I
I
mean,
love you. Like,
the fact that Tommaso Ciampa has broken containment into AEW now, it's like, is this possibly infecting all of like good professional wrestling is going to turn into like terrible era NXT bullshit? I don't know. We'll see.
Mad Dog should do a Why Am I So Violent gimmick.
Be so sick.
And the only other thing, there haven't been any, there's been like one new DDT show and I haven't got around to it yet. So DDT, the only promotion I really watch, hasn't been giving me a lot to feast on. The only other thing I watched part of the New Japan show. I watched, let me see, because I have to, I'm on a different web browser than I normally am. I don't have my spreadsheet pulled up. Yeah, so I watched the Never Openweight 6-man tag match. Pretty good. Very good. Yeah. Not much to say. Some people are talking about it like it was the match on the show. I wouldn't go that far, but I thought it was very serviceable. It's great work from Godo. TMDK are just a good unit. Probably the best unit going in New Japan right now. So yeah, I'd recommend it. I also watched Andrade Gabe Kid. This is fine. Andrade's cool. Gabe Kid. If Gabe Kid was working like 2000s New Japan, I think current right now we would be talking about him like, oh, he was so cool. I think it's only because we're experiencing it right now. We maybe think he's lame.
Yeah,
Uh,
I definitely get that. Like, I think I think a Gabe Kid working like not prime era, but like just past the prime after Gabe left ROH would be a guy that people would be like, in that Gabe Kid, he was sneaky good. Like people didn't really talk about, how good he was at the time, but he actually had some pretty sick matches. He'd be the kind of guy that Tony Khan would bring in for a run, like when they were doing like like a residency, and he would work like a week's worth of like tapings and just have a bunch of kick-ass matches. That's like what the Gabe Kid kind of style would fit into.
I think
yeah.
Gay Kid versus Brent Albright would be really good.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Then
Gabe Kid
I
doing
wa-
the Eric Stevens run right now would be like worlds better.
Prime for Prime. Who's better?
Did you see
Yeah, exactly.
you see Eric Stevens begging for the Abe match in Vegas?
No. That's interesting because I know someone who's friendly with Stevens who was like interested in the Abe match that weekend too. So that's funny that Stevens is looking for it.
Well, it's gonna be funny when
does
he ends
need
up wrestling like Charlie Dempsey. So
Right.
does Stevens does need to find his new indie promotion to work 6 matches a year.
Right. Because I don't think it's gonna be GCW, unfortunately. Although you know what would fucking rock would be if Eric Stevens got into like the Pandemonium / Pride style world and was working like the like queer adjacent indie wrestling shows, especially because I think we would end up with an Eric Stevens versus Tyler Bateman match, which is like the kind of thing that I would have fucking absolutely loved in like 2006 or 7. I would have been like so fucking like losing my mind for it.
I thought
that's
when you said
so
like
funny.
Pride,
Oh god.
when you said Pride, I was like, I thought you would say let's get him to GLEAT, which I'm here
Yeah.
for.
I'm into that too, actually.
I was just gonna say it's so funny because I watched I'm gonna talk about Pride style wrestling, so it's just
Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And
Got
then
the
watched.
recent return of the Ace of Pride style, Brett the Threat. I mean, it's perfect time to be talking up the promotion.
yeah. I asked when did Brett the Threat have his return. It turned out you were there.
I didn't realize it was his return. I even talked about it on Q&Tr, so that just shows how much of a fake fan you are.
I don't know if this is TMI. I listened to that episode when I was in the shower, so I did miss some of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair.
I think I'm 20
I hope that
minutes
the only
into
thing
it.
you missed I hope the only thing you missed in the shower was the part of the episode and not, any part of your disgusting dirty body.
You watch anything else,
Yeah.
Pork?
Yeah, I've got the rest of the show. I did not watch David Finlay versus Callum Newman, but
why
I
not?
can review it. Finlay is better than people say. Newman is bad wrestler.
Finlay is better than people say. Newman is worse than people say, is the best way to describe that match. Whoa.
Where is
I
Finlay
watched
on the
Aaron Wolf
Michael?
versus.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was gonna say,
No,
where's
no,
Finlay on
please,
the
please.
Michael
I'm sure
Oku
this.
Will Ospreay? Where is he on the fake Mike Will Ospreay? Is
He's
he
worse
closer to
than
Will
Oku.
Ospreay or closer to Mike Oku? Whoa. Listen, I definitely heard Q&Tr talk about
He's
Oku,
worse.
and I think they might be getting sued for how mean they were.
Yeah, I mean, no. How many people have been in the best storytelling match of the past 75 years? Of course, he's worse than Oku.
Makes sense.
Uh, wh- I want to say I was in the crowd for the first Osprey Oku match. Uh, and look,
Prelude to greatness.
you go back and watch it. I am losing my fucking mind.
Wait, was their
So
first match was during during the pandemic? I guess,
No,
for
this was
lack of
like
a better way to describe it.
no, this was like just post pandemic.
What is okay? Then what am I thinking of? Because Osprey did a show. He ran a show in England. Um, that was right a little while after the pandemic started, but right around the time where it's okay, we can start doing stuff again. It was live streamed for free on the internet, and I for some reason I thought he wrestled Oku on that show.
Are you talking about like the Wrestle Talk show where he wrestles B Priestley?
That's what I'm thinking of.
That's
Yeah.
very funny.
No, I don't think there
Okay,
was
okay.
fans. No.
Yeah, there was no
Newman
fans in the
is
building there.
Newman is on that show because he gets announced as the winner of the Wrestle Talk scholarship.
Nice. But you know what our good friend Michael Oku did on that show? He opened the show up wrestling as the OJMO, the Ojmo, the orange juice machine operator. And he was taking on the true Proteus Paul, Robbo, in the opening match. So yeah, that's why the only thing I can remember from that show was Michael Oku getting carried by a true goat.
No, I did watch other matches. I watched Aaron Wolf versus Narada. So this is a 2-minute match, and it's just House of Torture shenanigans. People can be mad. I mean, it's obviously building to a rematch where you'll get the proper match. Like, whatever. It's fine. Sometimes you should do stuff like this.
I mean, this is classic booking. It's Evil is leaving. You need to establish Narita probably as the new leader of the group. So you have him do what Evil couldn't do and beat Wolf. You know what I mean? Even if it's cheeky and it's a bunch of bullshit, it's it establishes, oh, he was able to, do what Evil couldn't do. Yeah, it's this is booking 101.
I also feel like as a company where your matches famously, especially title matches, go long, you need to, put it into your audience that matches can end quickly sometimes. It's what you do. There'll be a rematch, they'll do a proper match. Yeah, and then I watched the Knockout Brothers versus Umino and Yuya. Fucking loved it. Like, I love. You know what? I used to be a Shota guy, a bit ironically, because everyone was so mean to him. I genuinely think he's fine to good now. I think he's
You
better
worked
than
yourself
Yuya in
into a
this
shoot?
match. I think he's fine. I think he's fine now. I think he's really good in
Nice.
this match. I think both the Knockout Brothers are really good. Ice is obviously the thing, but Oscar, the tall guy, he's also really great. Yeah, it can be said it's a bit of lacking in structure. It is kind of just go, brawling from minute one. But I didn't mind it. I, you know, I love their match last year. I love the Ice Yuya single match. I hope these four continue to have some combination of matches. And if you ask me to book New Japan, I'm having one of Ice or Yuya win the title and the other one winning the G1. I really think these are the two to build the company around.
I completely agree, and I'm so happy that the tide has completely turned on Yudo Ice. I get why people were annoyed by the gimmick instantly, but the dude just fucking rocks. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I did not watch Suji versus Jake Lee because why would I?
Yeah, exactly.
Jake Lee, bad wrestler. I don't. Suji, I know some people like him. I think he's fine. Worse than Shota Umino. not a joke. Yeah. So that was of what I watched. I had a fun time, but I did skip about half the show, and that's the wrestling I watched.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna go next because we watched some of the same stuff and Price Style, like I mentioned. I watched 3 Mad Dog matches this last week. I watched his cage match with Manders. I watched the tag match, which was him and Gabe Kidd versus Janela and Dynamite Kid. And I watched Mad Dog versus Timothy Thatcher from Warrior Wrestling. And this will not be
Oh,
shocking because it's me talking. Yeah, there's a pro shot out now of that.
is that from this year or last year?
It's from the beginning of this year, January 16th.
Okay. Well, I
I
need to watch
fucking
that.
loved it. I loved it so much. It's not surprising. It's more of a Thatcher match than a Mad Dog match.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, but that's what I fucking want. I think, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Thatcher, having Thatcher matches with not great people. So you put fucking Mad Dog in there, and Mad Dog, he was so good in it with Thatcher. Just the grappling exchanges and just he was just able to hold his own. Where a lot of times Thatcher just completely eats people up, which is sometimes good, or you can tell he's wrestling himself. But Mad Dog was right there. It's not new, but
I
like
would
the
have liked
hammer.
to have.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I would just say the hammerlock and then punches to the stomach. I mean, it's not a new spot, but it's just I fucking love it in every Thatcher match.
I wish I had gotten, because I didn't watch the pro shot. I didn't even know that was out. I watched it on like the vertical video thing or whatever, which was like obnoxious. But I did like the banner, the Half Acre banner, because I love that brewery. So I was like, whatever. At least this shot I could like see this cool banner the whole time. But I'm with you that I was like happy that it was a Thatcher match. And I know it's like their first time wrestling each other, so hopefully like they bring it back and they can get more into it, because I was hoping that it would be a Thatcher match, but we would bring back some of the old deathmatch Tim stuff from like early, Northern California indies, like the Taipei deathmatch that kind of has become like legendary in the circles of people who know about that stuff. And some of the other, like he did like a deathmatch rumble and the shit that he did with Titus Alexander, who I will mention later when I'm talking about what I've watched, the stuff he did with his dad back in the day. But unfortunately, we didn't quite get there. But like I said, hopefully we can get some more matches and we can get there. Because, Tim doesn't mind getting down and dirty,
I remember someone describing as like, this is the Thatcher match that you do to have the sequel be the Mad Dog match.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean they're doing the dog collar match in March in Chicago.
Nice.
I think they officially announced that. I was gonna say I'm gonna be mad because Warrior Wrestling runs those matches when they're in Chicago and stuff, and then they're coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I think it's Bandito Gringo Loco is the main event. And
Cool.
and there's like a Ben Bishop match. It's also they go to which I like shit, why can't I think of the name of this? Rheingeist Brewery, which I like it. And it's very funny. They go there, and I've been there multiple times, and I've taken my nieces and nephews because they have family events there, and then the wrestling comes in and they go 18 plus only. Like, oh, okay.
Huh. Also, that's
and then
crazy. I didn't realize that you're close enough to go there. That brewery kicks ass too.
Oh, I'm it's like a little over 2 hours away. I mean, I just like Cincinnati, so
okay.
I go there.
Okay.
And yeah, like it's a great brewery and it's lots of fun, and they have stuff that involves family, and then the wrestling, just they don't let kids. And then Warrior Wrestling, when I DM them to make sure, I'm like, is this true? It's 18 plus. They blame the brewery. I'm like, I'm not gonna get into this. This is very funny.
That's so fucking stupid, man.
But I'm not gonna go 2 hours for that show. Plus, I can't take my nieces and nephews to Cincinnati, which would be like part of the appeal. I've already talked about my disappointment.
Like if you've been one of the people who's paid attention like to action wrestling being like consistently one of the best indie promotions in North America, half the time it's because like they have a crowd full of kids just going fucking absolutely wild the whole show. Like letting kids go to wrestling shows like makes it a lot of times.
I've been threatening to write about Appalachian Championship Wrestling more for the site, never do, and I really want to, because I just don't have time. But that is what I love about their shows too, because they're all free shows, and they're usually they do shows at their little studio, and they do shows at Buffalo Wild Wings, but a lot of their shows are at fairs or like market events. And like, because like I know the one that they just went to in Ashland, Kentucky, where I live. I know for a fact, because I know a lot of the kids have never really watched wrestling, and like, or they vaguely know about it from TV, and that is part of the appeal, is watching how fucking freaked out they get and how excited they get, and like the good matches can get a kid who doesn't really care about wrestling, is just there because his mom, brought him for something to do on a Friday night, and like is wrapped up in it. So yeah, the idea of being like, well, let's we don't want the kids here.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't.
not have this show kick ass.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's like
and then let's also
a
not bring in Mad Dog or
weird
Thatcher.
yeah. A weird comparison is like the evolved WWN shows in China, when it was like the Chinese crowds didn't know what the fuck wrestling was, so like they're just seeing AR Fox for the first time and they're like absolutely just stunned. Yeah, like having a bunch of kids in the building for like fucking a wrestling show and they don't watch it or know what's going on. It's fucking sick.
I
Yeah,
will
like,
say the one time I brought my younger cousin to a wrestling show, it was a SmackDown show, and he only wanted to go there because he thought Logan Paul might give out free Prime.
why
Ah,
didn't you just buy him some Prime, man?
I
yeah, no.
but I would told him I'm more than happy to buy you Prime. I don't know why specifically. This was like early
He wanted
when Prime was hard to get. Like Prime was rare in the UK.
yeah.
I know,
And
so
he wanted to
you've
get it
heard it
from
here.
Logan Paul.
You've heard it from VPR. More minors should be near wrestlers. I think that's the
That's what we
official
want.
Especially
stance.
Logan
It's
Paul.
Logan
That
Paul
crossed my
and then Brit
mind when I was
Rest.
saying that, Yeah. These are the things that children should be learning from.
Luckily, the Nielsen's are talking about show us that no young people actually watch wrestling, so we don't gotta worry about it. I do want to talk about that tag match, Janela, Dynamite Kid versus Gabe Kid and Mad Dog Conley. I talked about Mad Dog getting busted open. This was just really weird. Like, it's just a really strange match. Dynamite Kid is Tommy Billington, not great. And I don't know if that's a hot take. And I just wonder
It's
what
not.
I don't follow the JCW announcements to know. I'm sure this tag match was originally something involving Tiger Mask, so maybe it would have made more sense. But it was just so random him being in there, and um, it made me wanting to see more. Which after last week you wouldn't think this, but more Janela Mad Dog. I'd want that's like a match I'd tune into a JCW event if that was the
Yeah.
main event.
Yeah, there was
But
a
I
bit
think
of a
Mad Dog can rein
conversation.
him in.
Oh, God.
I'll just say Mad Dog
Yeah,
feels like
there
he
was
could kind of rein in Joey.
for sure. There was a bit of a conversation about this that I think happened in the Discord that was like talking about like the history of Janela and like when he kind of went wrong. Because like the problem with Janela now is that he still has this tendency to like be a maximalist who wants to do the most, but like he's kind of like he really fancies himself like a great veteran maestro of the style it's his job to get out here and really give back to the youngins and make sure that the crowd leaves happy getting like a 5-star Janela classic long match. And it's like that shit sucks. When Janela was cool was when he was a maximalist about like doing the stupidest bumps and fucking like going through glass and fucking that kind of shit. Like that was cool. So the idea of like a Janela Mad Dog match that's like more focused on that kind of stuff is good. Like him getting back to the idea like what I need to do is like punish my body.
We had that
My thing
conversation on
about
VPR, and yeah, but I was thinking, I just thought about it later. It's like I think he thinks, and like this is like I thought about this after. Like he thinks he's Ric Flair, where it's like Ric Flair would always be like, I have to do all those spots. That's what people came for. I don't really believe there are people that like I got to see my Joey Janela spots. I don't think those people
No.
exist.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that was always my thing. Like, Janela thinks he's the ace of GCW, and like, your GCW, you do not need an ace. You need guys who will go out there and do wild stuff, but you don't need your epics.
Right. Like he thinks he's Flair, he's Foley. Like I want Janela to do Cactus Jack. I want Janela to do Sandman, if I'm perfectly honest. But like he wants to be, like you said, Ric Flair. And that's like terrible. I guess to play this game, and I'm usually pretty bad at this, I will say that Joey Janela is the Sandman of Shane Douglas's?
Joey Janela is the Sandman of Shane Douglas's.
So, are we? This, I don't know if this would be controversial. Are we committing that Janela is better than Shane Douglas, like currently, like current him peak Shane Douglas?
No, I think peak Shane Douglas is better than current day Joey Janela.
Yeah.
So, because if Sandman good wrestler, it feels like you're putting Janela above Shane Douglas.
No, definitely not. What I'm saying is that Shane Douglas as a Ric Flair ripoff, which he is kind of I would say that Shane Douglas is the best of the Ric Flair ripoffs.
Yeah.
That Joey Janela is actually more of a Sandman trying to be a Shane Douglas ripoff. Or trying to be a Ric Flair
Interesting.
ripoff.
I can see that. I can follow that
Yeah.
logic. I thought you were gonna say current day Shane Douglas. I'm like, I watch current day Shane Douglas. I do have to say Janela's better than him.
Sure.
That actually makes me segue to last week. I talked about Gangrel's heavyweight title run in Coastal Championship Wrestling. They posted a new show, and it opens with Gangrel coming out, and they said he has to make an announcement, and he didn't have any matches announced, and I was fucking terrified. I'm like, oh, he's injured. He is injured, but he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I want to wrestle someone. He wrestles this guy Veritas in like a 5-minute match, and then he announces that he's going on a European tour, and I'm like, Gangrel will never fucking slow down. I love it. But just the way it was, like, it was the classic, I'm out here, I'm injured, I'm vacating the title. But now he's just like, no, he's like, I'm injured, so I had to cancel the booking. But then I decided to come here anyway, and I want to wrestle a match. Someone come out. And he's like, I'm injured, but I'm going to go to Europe anyway. I'll see you guys when I get back. And I was like, fuck yeah.
So, you announced European tour, and you didn't immediately message me.
I'm so sorry. Well, it's also like, I love when wrestlers do this. Like, I don't know how specific you can get, but all he says is, I'm going to Europe. There's no information there. I don't know how you would know where Gangrel will be, but
If he touches ground in the continent, I'm there.
all right, we got to keep our radar on. I'll be watching all the flights coming out of Florida. And then I wanted to talk about Pride Style, which is so funny that like I was like, I want to talk about Pride Style because people aren't talking about it, and of course we have Tim on who immediately talks about it.
So
But,
did you not watch anything else from the actual J Cup, or was it just the Mad Dog matches?
No, I just watched. Oh no, wait! I watched I closed that out. I watched the Buster and the Brain versus Judas Icarus and Travis Williams from night 2.
And good.
And I got disappointed because I'm like, that match was no good, and I know that match is why though Travis Williams and Judas Icarus like they lost in the first round because they're like, oh, we're gonna run this tag match the next night.
Yeah.
And I talked about it like when I was like looked up the results. I think the worst wrestler lost in every single match of round 1 of the J Cup. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead. If you haven't watched it, don't listen to this. But KJ Orso beat Teriyaki. Man like dress defeats Oro. Darian Bankston defeats Judas Icarus. Gresham defeats Adam Priest. Vengador beat won a 6-man that also included my boy Travis Williams. Charles Mason beat Eric Stevens. Billy Starks beat Ryan Clancy. And the one match where the best man did win, Alex Price and Jordan Oliver went to a draw.
the best man being neither of them.
Yeah, the best man being no one.
I do have to say, Charles Mason and Eric Stevens is a real toss-up, man. I don't know how you pick that the best man won or lost.
But when you watch Eric Stevens, at least you can say, "Oh, I've seen him in good matches." He doesn't currently have them, but I've seen him in them.
Fair.
That was actually
Stevens had good
that was kind of close.
Last year.
And I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of way past the teriyaki thing, so KJ Orso versus teriyaki is kind of a push too. But I just thought going with my thought process, like I would book it the exact opposite of that.
To be fair, like I didn't see that match, and I am higher on teriyaki in general. But as you said, like I wouldn't argue too hard because I do think that KJ Orso has like been pretty good. And so I'm not gonna complain about him winning there either. But I would go with you just on how do I put it? Like just on reputation, I would have booked Teriyaki over.
KJ Orso was a guy that, not that I was excited to, but when I saw he was going to TNA, I thought that kind of makes sense. That's like a guy that but sometimes I think about like modern day TNA. I'm like, there's going to be a time where like 6 years from now, someone's like, you should watch these 30 matches that John Schuyler had in TNA, or KJ Orso had this run in 2026 in TNA that was good, but like no one knows.
Unmasked
Isn't it-
KJ Orso in TNA is perfectly mirroring like Rubik's when
Yes.
Jigsaw went to TNA. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, I
Is
think that's
is
perfect.
man like DeVries still rapping during his entrance? That's all I care about.
Well, I did say I didn't watch it, so I don't.
Well, take a guess.
Oh yeah, he is. He is. What was This is so random. What was Rubik's first match in TNA?
Oh,
For some reason, I
I
thought
hope you pulled it up.
I'm trying to look it up. I thought it kicked ass, but I can't remember what it was. I think I remember being like so excited. I'm like, oh man, we got fucking Jigsaw.
I honestly,
I want to say
for some reason,
Sunday Dutt.
my gut says it's like Alex Shelley, but
No, it
might
was
be
Dutt. It was Dutt. It's
Okay.
3 minutes. I don't know why I remember
Nice.
that match fucking ruling, but in my mind, I was like, no, Rubik's came in with a fucking bang in 3 minutes. I'm gonna mark that down to track down a 3-minute match from TNA in 2012. But Pride Style. I watched Pride Style because I like Amira and I wanted to put her higher on my VP 100. So I'm like, I should watch more of her matches. Every time I watch her, she goes up. So I pull up in Pride Style, and Pride Style 42, 43, 44. She's got a nice run of matches. Tanaya versus her is probably the strongest one. I also watched Johnny Robbie's matches from those 3 shows, and she's one of those wrestlers that like I feel like I hear people talk about her but not her matches. If that
Right.
makes sense. Where like people are like she's
Right,
really
right.
good, but like outside of like Danny Luna, I'm like, I don't know that I've ever seen like people be like, check out this Johnny Robbie match. But I also, I mean, I like her too, and I kind of came up with the same problem where like I think she's a good wrestler. I don't
Hey.
have anything to recommend. Oh, you're not a
She's
Johnny
What's up,
one of
Robbie
these-
fan?
everybody?
What up,
Hey,
man?
the prodigal son
So
has
we're just now
returned.
starting the episode, right?
Just now, welcome
Yeah.
to Violent
Yeah.
People Radio, episode 86. You missed 51 minutes, but somehow not a lot.
Yeah.
That's isn't that always the way with us?
Fucking appreciate the hell out of you. Apparently, you were out for the count, and then you just rose from the dead and jumped on the call.
I fell asleep after work, and then just a minute ago, I shot up out of bed like Catherine O'Hara in Home Alone when she realized that she was a bad mom.
You got the sense that I was gonna have to talk about a Tara Zepp match without you.
I would rather die than that happen, Tim.
Fair. The thing about Johnny Robbie is, yeah, she's definitely the kind of wrestler that like is good but does not have good matches. She falls, or I should say, does not have great matches. She falls very firmly into like the anti conversation when you talk about great match theory, which we do have to give a shout out to I don't necessarily know if he was the inventor of great match theory, but he was definitely one of the propagators. And I will say a godfather of Violent People, the website, and Violent People Radio, spiritual, predecessor, Parv, for his important, as we were talking about earlier, political leanings. We fall into the same camp as him, and wrestling wise, we fall into, his opinions as well. And Johnny Robbie is unfortunately not a proponent, or not a great, strong example of great match theory.
I thought that was leading to the person in the Discord who said Joseph invented input over output.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was leading to Scott Keith.
I will
Yeah.
never not enjoy once every 6 months when someone discovers Big Lav. It just
I love
till the end of
every
time will
now
never
and
get
then-
old.
this is like every 3 years, but it's like one of my discoveries is finding Parv's racist YouTube channel that I found like, initially, and was like, I messaged him on Facebook and was like, "Hey man, this you?" Nothing. Never heard back from him. Still have never heard back from him.
That adds even more texture to my favorite part thing, which is when I was looking for something else on the Pro Wrestling Only forum, and what caught my eye but it was a thread titled something like, "Why does Lucha Libre suck?" And his post was like, "Because it does." And
He
then
said
everyone got mad.
Yeah, he said, on account of the lazy, intrinsic, negative nature of the brown skin. Yeah. The funny, you know what? This is not dunking on Parv hour. Let's move on. Dan, what else did you watch?
We're gonna talk about Ditch. Oh wait, okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
No,
God,
the
he's
other
almost respectable at this point. Ditch is like a Bush Republican, which is
It's
sad
true.
to even think of. To be like, he's honestly semi-fucking respectable in that regard. Fucking hell.
I had 2 more shows I want to talk about, and this sucks that Chris isn't here. Well, not really shows. One match from the IWRG. I got real excited for Bendito and Flamita versus Noisy Boy and Spider Boy. I was like, this is gonna fucking rule. And
Oh, I should watch
this
that.
might be a match. The match that has let me down the most in a long time. Benito and Flamita just eat them up. They just eat Noisy Boy and Spider Boy up, and then they put him over at the last minute. And I mean, it's real short. Not a lot happens, and it was just. I thought I was about to see, a spot fest that I'd come on here and recommend, but I had to say skip that one if you're short for time.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me that there's a disappointing performance from Benito? What is this?
I know.
The Super Bowl?
I know.
Oh, wait, that reminds me of something. Wait, let me see if I can find it. I got a Twitter like from Spiderfly, so I'm moving up in the world, people.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
shit. And then I watched most of Dynamite. I missed the.
Hey, me
I thought
too,
that was a
man.
wrestler.
Oh, nice.
I thought that was a wrestler for the second called Moses Dynamite.
I watched Moses Dynamite. I think he's got
Ooh.
potential.
That is a good wrestling name.
I think I missed the opening 6-man tag. It sucks because I like the Death Riders, and it seems like whenever I look away from Dynamite or tune it or like miss tuning in the Dynamite is like when they are on. So that sucks, but whatever. Kyle Fletcher versus Ciampa was good. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, to be honest, like, if there's a Death Riders match and it doesn't have the ace of the Death Riders in it, I don't really care as much. I mean, if Marina's not in the match, who cares?
Got a good point. I didn't know if you were going with Marina or Yuta, but either way, you were right.
Yep. Yeah, their tag match on Collision was fucking sick. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about the Death Riders is there's no bad wrestler in the group besides Daniel Garcia.
Ooh.
I love it.
Speaking of Bad Bunny, right? Should be talking about, I guess.
How is
Danny.
that speaking of?
No, because
Bad
I was making a joke earlier when he said Benito was disappointing.
Okay, I'm gonna move on and go to Kyle Fletcher versus Ciampa.
Please.
This fucking ruled. I had this thing where like is Ciampa good? Because I don't know, because he's only wrestling like he's only been in the ring with like 4 of the best 15, 20 wrestlers in the world. But he's getting the fucking job done. And I see people that aren't excited for Fletcher Briscoe part 78 or whatever. I saw a lot of that. It's part 7, I know, but I saw a lot of like snark on my timeline. Best of fucking 30 series.
With this being a best of 7 though.
Yeah.
Which of them is Booker T and which of them is Benoit?
Well, I think the Briscoes have gone through enough, so I'm hoping that Fletcher's Benoit.
But I was gonna say, I mean,
that's a very Trevor Dame thing to say.
That is, but it's a tough call, because I will say Sky Blue is way closer to Nancy Benoit than really any woman that I've ever seen near Mark Briscoe. So that does make that kind of, maybe there, because she has that same icy demeanor, let's say, that same like lack of charisma other than just being physically attractive that Nancy Benoit had. So there is that. But as you said, like Mark Briscoe is. Anyway, I'm not gonna finish with it. I'm not gonna finish that because it's a very poor
Yeah.
taste joke.
Yeah, I mean, I love your point of, Sky Blue's a bitch.
Let's just say there's a reason
Exactly.
why they call Mark Briscoe Raheem.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because he's known for hurting women, folks. That's not true. He's a good man.
Well,
Is Clark Connors like is he really in TNA or not TNA? Shit, is he in no? Is he in
AEW?
is he in AEW or is he just doing
Yeah.
spots? He's in AEW.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to be like he's not actually signed, but he's like, fuck it, I'll just hang out, because his wife is there, he can just like live with her, move around. I think he's technically American. Yeah, so he could be like an unsigned, but also it's fucking Tony, so why would he not just sign him? Just like throw a couple $100,000 or 100,000 at him and just be like, whatever, who cares?
All right. Well, but I was gonna say
I miss.
I thought he was fine here, but like it just becomes the thing of did AEW need a Clark Connors? I don't know, but this match with Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong was fine. I hated the 3-way with the Young Bucks versus Private Party versus the Rascals. Myron Reed should have stayed in MLW. I don't know what we're doing here. And then Thekla versus
Yeah.
Chris Statlander fucking ruled.
Yeah,
It ruled so
that was
fucking
good.
hard.
Yeah.
Kind of low on Chris Statlander, I feel like. I think she's lost the sauce significantly. People are blaming her booking, but I think she's been not good for quite a while now. It's like she looks good when she's in there with Willow, but I don't think that has anything to do with Chris Statlander. So I have no
I think
problem with
with like,
Thekla going over here.
I think with like all AEW acts, you'd be like, if they had good booking, it's like, well, no one in AEW has great booking, but plenty of wrestlers still manage to have great and interesting matches. At some point, you just gotta. These are the cards. You've got to do the best you got with them.
Where it's like the luchadors on Nitro, they managed to look like good wrestlers, even though you wouldn't see them for weeks and they had terrible booking. Like, I go back to that live show as that where it's her, Anna Jay, Penelope Ford, and Julia Hart, and I thought that Chris Statlander was the worst wrestler in that ring, and it didn't seem particularly close. So I'm kind of cool with her being off, out of the title reign. You're gonna be shocked by this. I'm not as familiar with Thekla's wrestling career as maybe others
I
are.
can tell because you're saying her name wrong.
Wait, what's how you say her name?
I'm just fucking with you slightly because fucking Jay, he would always say it the right way, and I would always say it the way you say it. I guess technically you should be saying Tekla.
I guess that makes sense. I
Tekla.
won't be doing that. I have this
I
thing where I don't know why I do
shan't.
on the show. When I read, I feel like I'm much better at saying names if I wasn't reading them. When I read them, sometimes I just fucks
Sure.
me up. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
call her
me
Thekla.
talking about our esteemed co-host tonight, Patrick.
Patrick was already called out before he got here. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm excited for more Thekla matches.
Why? What'd he do?
He's getting in all sorts of trouble. So that's the wrestling I
Well,
watch.
he supported Brit Rest
Oh,
as he does. I'm
with
gonna
his
skip.
hard-earned dollars.
I'm gonna skip our guest again and go right to Pat because I'm excited that he's here. I want to hear what the fuck's been going on in Pat's life. What wrestling you been watching?
give me 1 second. I got to pull something up here.
God damn it. He's going to be
I wanna
listening
say,
to
I haven't-
QTR, if you know what I mean.
I haven't supported Brit Res in like 2 years. I'm on a good streak of not going to Brit Res shows.
Fair.
At PTO time. Hey, PTO, I assume that you are American just
Yes.
like I am.
Yes.
I unfollowed Natsupoi because she
Yes.
broke my heart when she got married to that ugly Japanese bastard, and I just cannot handle that. I will continue following you to talk about women and all the ugly shit in the U.S. And I replied to Andrew Cheesar with, I understand. Keep strong, brother.
This was
And
all we
that's
talked
been
about
my wrestling.
before you got
That's
on
been
here.
my wrestling for the week. I've been working like a dog a week.
Okay.
This is the extent of my wrestling.
So, Pat, when he says that ugly Japanese bastard, do you assume that he's talking about Gabe Kidd?
You know, I think he would call Gabe Kidd some kind of like funny nickname.
Fair.
I think his overwhelming rage just boils over with Shingo Takagi.
Now,
Gabe the
we covered this, I
Chinese
think,
kid.
before we started recording. I think we talked about this not on the show. I need to know, what did you just follow him? Like, why did you get this special call out?
I like every single one of his tweets.
Oh,
Okay.
there's the
That makes
secret.
sense.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going through these tweets and most of them have 1 like, so
Got it. Okay, yeah. So he's
So-
saying, like, unfortunately, I know that you've appreciated the content that I've been giving you for months. He's like basically telling his #1 fan that, like, you know, things are going to change, but stick around for the new album. You know, he's saying, listen,
I mean,
like, Bob Dylan might be going electric, but you know, you can still vibe with this.
he's going nuts today too. Like 2 hours after he tweeted me at WWR Stardom. All you Japanese boys better start following me or else, because I will soon start
Shit.
sending videos of Mina Shirakawa's victories in AEW. Mina is even much better looking now than she has ever been,
This is true.
and she is now the best wrestler in America. Mina is looking very sexy.
Absolute
And
church.
then next one at WWR Stardom, all caps. Taro Okada, I demand that you bring back the very lovely, charismatic Mina back to Japan as soon as possible. She is much more than just a sex symbol with the most beautiful body that I ever seen. She is also now the best wrestler in America, with a link to Sky Blue versus Mina Shirakawa.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
You know what? It's nice to know he's watching matches. Before that, I assumed he's never watched a match.
I have to
You know,
admit, I don't know that I've
I had
ever read
considered that possibility.
I don't think I've ever read his bio before. Great at fixing and upgrading computers. I am also great at bodybuilding. You say that I am a really strong man. I am also interested in computer programming. So this, all right,
Oh yeah.
good to know.
Andrew Cheesar had a recent thread about Maki Ito the other day, which I think,
Please.
yeah, Maki Evil, which I think might be his magnum opus to date.
Now he has 33 followers. I wonder what percentage of these are on the Discord.
Let's
feels
see,
like a
because it
circle.
tells me others I follow. Shrimp Biscuit 420, Cameron, Cole, Simon.
Good
I
group.
saw more. Let me.
That's a fun way to realize
That's just the ones that I also follow.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
Ducky
That's a
follows.
fun- That's a fun way
Okay.
to learn Pat doesn't follow me.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, we just found out Fat doesn't follow Pork.
You know.
What, I just
It
fixed
happens,
that, so fuck you.
man.
A candidate
That's-
for a city council
Wait.
in New York City.
Wait, did you
follows
say
him.
Simon?
Yeah,
Did you mention
Simon.
that Simon follows them? Okay.
Yeah.
Simon will post his tweets to the Discord. He's a big fan.
Nice. Yeah. Simon is a connoisseur of freaks, to be fair. Like, historically, Simon has exposed me to a lot of fucking brain damage that I would have never seen without him. So,
I
Shout
think
out to the
that's
man.
why he has such a knack for reviewing wrestling, to be honest.
that's true.
His ability to enjoy freaks.
That's for sure.
It's gonna be tough to top that, but Tim, have you watched any wrestling in the last week you want to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, I've watched very little wrestling in the past week, but I will talk about it. I'll start out with this. The recently mentioned Mina Shirakawa had a match with Viva Van on Collision, I think it was. Yeah, it was before this Dynamite that was pretty good, the Collision right before. Viva Van, she is an amazing wrestler who can not do a single move without looking like there's like a major struggle. And that doesn't mean like in the good way where you say like wrestling should look like a fight. It looks like a struggle, like it's hard for her to pull anything off. At one point, the incredibly sexy but also formidable Mina Shirakawa hits like a super sick kill shot elbow strike that just absolutely annihilates her. So shout out Mina. She is not just one of the, best bodies or whatever the fuck that guy was saying. She is also one of the greatest wrestlers.
I love She's not just a sex symbol, the best body I've ever seen.
I mean,
Yeah,
she got her
no.
start in best body wrestling in Japan, so
That's true. That's true. On that same show I mentioned it, but there's the BBC or wait, sorry, the BCC versus Skyflight team.
Ayo.
And Marina fucking rocks. And so, at some point, like Marina is so fucking sick. It's crazy to me to think back to the amount of like people just saying how bad she is. Shout out, Patrick Cosmos, very important lawyer on Twitter, and his like catchphrase in Discord saying Marina should be fired. Because at this point, like finally people have come around to seeing how great she is. She's like the star of this match. She's the star of basically every fucking Death Riders match at this point. And at some point during this tag match, because John Moxley is on commentary, at some point during the match, he says, people think that Wheeler Yuta's hair is fake. Yeah, people think Wheeler Yuta has a weave. And I was dying at the idea of the cross-section of AEW fans who look at Wheeler Yuta and go, yeah, I think that guy has a weave. I think that guy's got that's not his hair. I was losing it thinking about that. And that was the important stuff
Weaver
from
Yuta. So
Weaver Yuta. That was the important stuff from Collision. I also watched Max Caster versus Bear Bronson from Wrestling Open. I watched other stuff from that show, but this is the only thing that I care to talk about, to be honest.
Did you see how they advertised that match?
No, what did they say?
I believe they were advertising it as Bear Bronson versus a former AEW champion.
Yes, okay, that makes sense because what's his name? Mark Sterling, is that it? The lawyer guy?
Yeah.
He comes out and he's like, I've got my special, my best friend special whatever who's going to come out and he's going to do this thing. He's going to really show y'all. And then it was Max Caster. And like, I've historically been kind of a Max Caster like supporter pretty strongly, like forever. Right. And I was like pretty early on the Acclaimed bandwagon, like saying like this thing is going to be good. And then it gets through. People love it. I really never understand the Max Caster hate, like as a wrestler, because I do find him to be like a good wrestler. Like I think that like he's very solid. In here with Bear Bronson, these are guys who like came up together in Create Pro. They've known each other for fucking since they started wrestling. So like they phenomenal with each other. Like they have great chemistry with each other. And it's just like a solid, good wrestling match. Like I feel like people just dislike Max Caster for like his edgelord stuff or like his promos being cringe or whatever. But it's like way beyond like paying attention to any of his actual wrestling, like in-ring wrestling. If you're like talking shit about Max Caster,
need to get work.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, exactly. Otherwise, I watched Inamura versus Sugiura. This is just like peak fucking Noah sucks at this point. Noah is so fucking obnoxious. Sugiura is like firmly in the like legend. He should just be a babyface. There's no reason to even try to put him, but he's in like Team 2000X. And they're trying to like make him work. Like he does like some fucking token. It's like the way that it comes across with him like trying to do like cheesy heel stuff feels like the worst of the worst, like MJF heel fucking stuff when people were just like so fucking done with how like obnoxious it was.
MJF.
It's just like, yeah, it's like it's the worst of the worst, like token bad forced healing shit where Sugiura is like sometimes trying to like add in some like, oh, look at me, I'm a baddie, I'm doing fucking bad guy stuff. And it's just like no one wants to fucking see this, man. Just like knock it off.
Yeah.
And just
He should
be
be
the
doing
legend.
like, look at me, I'm a baddie, like Jade Cargill's.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. I want to see Sugiura wearing like hip cutout pants, like premium Akito. That's what I want to see. I want to see Peekaboo fucking
He needs to get the Ahmed Johnson butt garter.
Yes,
now
that's
I'm
what I'm
not
looking for.
watching. Obviously, I'm not watching Noah. Are you telling me that Inamura in his current state is a babyface?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's insane. At one point, this is the highlight of the match early on. The English commentary says that Segura, as he locks in a Boston Crab on Inamura, the commentary says Segura is looking to drain the Smack Daddy. And that's the best thing that happens in the entire match. But yeah, like they bring out a shark cage. It's dumb as fuck. Keno comes out to fight off Team 2000X and run him off in the shark cage. And like the thing that hit me as I was watching it was I was like, this is like bad WWE Noah, to where I would believe that they've sent like the Godfather, like Kama Mustafa is backstage as like the new Noah showrunner, a la Undertaker in Triple A or whatever. And just thinking about Billy Gunn fuming as he's like, that would be my spot if I wasn't trapped in Guantanamo Bay. I could be the Undertaker of Noah if it wasn't for this motherfucker. Because, yeah, it's really fucking bad booking. And then after all of that shit, they try to do like a fighting spirit kick out at one forearm exchange for the finish. And it's just like, guys, you can't fucking do this. Like you're doing goofy WWE bullshit. You can't then try to be like, we are real fucking hardcore puro, fighting strong and having, whatever. God damn, it's fucking gnarly. Otherwise, the other stuff I was going to talk about was Utani matches. So I watched 2 Utani matches because I watched the Shelwa match that I wanted to see from from CMLL. I wanted to watch it, and then the match got ruined for me because dumbass Dave Meltzer talked about it on his fucking podcast and just gushed over how great Utani is, and oh my god, he's so good, and he can do all these moves. And it's like, then I watched it, and I'm like, man, Shelwa is so good. Quentin is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, but actually, it was a solid match. But it's CMLL, and it's just like there's nothing in between. It's just like spots. It's obnoxious. It's boring, and it's like perfect Dave Meltzer wrestling, and that's why he's doing this. And then the funniest thing about it is, I'm like, Utani is like a little. He's one of my little guys. I just like I pay attention to him because I think he's good. I enjoy his work. I find him entertaining and charismatic. This was not a good example of like a Utani match, and having Dave like put it over almost made me upset. Where I was like, no, like, this is not good. So then I was like, I'm gonna follow this up, and I'm gonna watch Utani versus it was Daru, in Lucha Memes. And it was similar because it wasn't like the peak of what I think Otani can do, but it was more entertaining because it's like a smaller crowd who's more invested in the match. And Utani was selling and at least like working the crowd. Like the CMLL house style can be a little like, we just do spots with nothing in between. And like that just is like the peak of why I don't like Lucha. And then at least in like Lucha Memes, they at least pretend like they know that the crowd is around, and Utani is like gesturing to them and like making faces and doing like little hand stuff. And then they like get into some like really cool like high spots. And there's a nice spot like on the outside where Daru is like having a hard time taking his shirt off, and Utani, instead of just like standing there watching him, like gets over, fucking punches him in the ribs and rips the shirt off to get to the next thing. And it's just like, that's the kind of thing where it's like a lot of fucking dorks nowadays just stand there and like watch him. And that was like, I was just thinking about like, Dave's dumbass, like not knowing what's going on with Utani. And because I'm like, not like a huge, like, oh, I know everything about this guy. But like I said, he's just like one of my guys. He's one of my little guys. I think he's one of my special little guys. Because Dave was talking about him like, oh yeah, like he's so good and he's so talented. And when he goes back to Japan, he could be a star. And it's like, Utani is not like a Japanese guy. Like he's not a puro guy. Like he is Japanese, but he started his career in Mexico. He's primarily worked only in Mexico. The only time that he's really worked in Japan is part of like the what is it, like Team Black Extreme and GLEAT, the big lucha heel stable. Like, he's never been, like, signed to a Japanese company. He's never been part of, like, Japanese wrestling. So I just found it, like, very funny to be like, yeah, when this guy goes back to Japan, he's gonna be a big star. And it's like, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. By the end of this match, even with all of the, like, silly and goofiness, the crowd is, like, living and dying with every near fall and going absolutely crazy. And it did hit me where I was just like, even though I'm historically famously not a big lucha fan, like in
Yeah,
a company like Lucha Memes, go ahead. What was that?
why does all lucha suck? I think that was your post, right, on the
Yeah, I
on
have
the
said that quite a
forums.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like in a company like Lucha Memes with wrestlers who I find are like decent, like lucha can be inoffensive to pretty good, because yeah, like in a company like this where they're kind of like more engaged with the crowd directly, it's not like over the top, it's loud and obnoxious and everything like that. Like by the end of it, like I was like into this. So it was like pretty solid. But the main event for me of the evening was Tara Zepp returning to the, I was going to say to the ring, challenging for the Canadian Deathmatch Championship against PD Skills. Pat, are you familiar with PD Skills?
Feel like I've watched at least one PD Skills match, and it just slid out of my brain frictionlessly as soon as it was over.
That makes sense because he is the champion of Canadian Deathmatch, and he's wearing a Funk You parody shirt for himself. So he's one of the many, many modern Terry Funks. Um, Throughout this match, it's just like boring, stupid spots. Nothing fucking matters. Everything is boring and whatever. Tara Zepp has completely learned the ways of Mickey Knuckles because half of her offense has become.
Well, that's because she, Sue Young, and what's her name, Florida Ma'am, Lindsay Snow, have formed the Pussy World Order.
Yes. So everything she has learned to like the powers of Mickey Knuckles and forming everything based around crotch based attacks, which is phenomenal. Um, and then in the classic, deathmatch wrestling style, they just do a bunch of spots. And then finally at the end, um, PD Skills decides that he's got to he's got to prove that he's actually a pro wrestler. Cause, like the nine out of 10 death matches have to end with like a roll up or like a professional wrestling hold to show that you're about wrestling. And it's not just about, dumb bullshit. He attacks her knee for like 2 seconds with a chair and then locks in a scorpion deathlock for like an instantaneous tap. So it's just like, hell yeah. This is like everything you want from a bad deathmatch, wrestling match. And Tara Zepp she is eligible for the VP 26, 100. So everyone act accordingly and look out for Tara Zepp and the Pussy World Order.
I think we should be making our VP 2026 predictions right now.
Tara Zepp top 50?
I think so.
Tony Honda, number 1.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Before we move on, I do have to talk about, because Tara Zepp, that was good. I talked about, we talked about Chris Stat, pretty good. But I do have to talk about the best women's wrestling match that I've seen probably in a while. Mio Momono versus Huzan. This is a 5-minute, just incredible, violent atrocity. I guess is like a rookie who got like fucking absolutely just annihilated by Senka as like she got lapped by her. Senka beat her for a title chance, has beat her multiple times, and I just looks like a total loser. And Mio has like returned and is like her senpai or whatever, her better, who's trained her and all this stuff. And this match is just gritty, violent, and nasty. It's the kind of wrestling match that like transcends wrestling. And it fucking sucks that there's so many very, very stupid people who talk about like, oh, wrestling is cinema and art and all this stuff, because this was the kind of match that actually like deserves to be talked about that way. And part of it is because it's like 5 minutes of just brutal fucking screaming and hitting and teeth gnashing violence that ends up with I'll say fucking spoiler, whatever. Like, if you haven't seen it yet, that's on you. You should have watched it. Fuck off. It ends with the loser just getting fucking snuffed out by the better, and then the better cutting a promo afterwards talking about how much of a fucking loser you are and you need to step your shit up and fucking prove that you deserve to be here. And the loser being like just fucking crying and fucking snot bubbles forming as they just whine about the fact that they need to turn it up and all this. And yeah, this is transcendent professional wrestling at its fucking best. And I can't believe I almost forgot to mention it. So yeah, definitely check out from the marvelous February 5th show, I Hazan versus Mio Momino.
I do want to say their name is spelled AI, so what we supporting AI now?
Yeah, of course. I can't help myself.
You knocked out two things I needed. Like, you made me remember two things I needed to talk about before we move on. Mickey Knuckles. I'm always giving Deathmatch Facebook updates. The post in Deathmatch Elite that I've ever seen get the most replies, it's up to 312. It's been up for 17 hours. Is Brandon Young said, "Bro, Mickey Knuckles is great. Her advice, on the other hand, trash can emoji." And I guess this is a young deathmatch wrestler that Mickey said, "Hey, take 5 years, learn to wrestle, learn, how to get over, and then, then you can start doing death matches." And this guy, I can only assume, is trolling all deathmatch workers because everyone's in this status. Mickey Knuckles, um, Bloodstained Lane, North Korean Zombie, Akira, Jimmy Chando Lunda, whatever you say his name. I can't even fucking think of his name, but like every deathmatch worker in every promotion that Pat wrestles or that watches is in this thread being like, you should listen to Mickey. And he replies to every one of them, "Shut up, you're a gatekeeper, you're poor. You make less money than me, so you don't matter. Mickey might be nice, but her advice is trash. I'm gonna start wrestling death matches immediately." And it's just going on and on and on, and it's 313 comments. Like, it is fueling. It's what all deathmatch workers are doing right now, is trying to be like, tell this guy, no, listen to Mickey. So that's the latest update, and it's good shit. And I'm really into, if he ever wrestles a match, he's my new favorite wrestler. And I don't know how the fuck I didn't mention this match. The best match I watched this week, Cannibal Jr. and Lost Boy versus Madame Calavera and Wild Ram. This match was, I can't even see where it is now. We were tagged. Somebody tagged the Violent People Twitter, and I don't remember who it was. To watch it. It's a lucha match. It was supposed to take place in an apartment building, a complex, and they could not fit the ring, so they just lay the canvas down in the courtyard and have a wrestling match in this tiny little courtyard. And it's so fun. It's 8 minutes long. It's got mat work. It's got some lucha high spots. It's got people getting thrown in the bushes. It's got a pit bull that keeps trying to run onto the mat. It's got children that look like they don't know what's going on. They're scared. Like, it is good shit. And there's a few more matches from this. You got to search like Lucha Day Exhibition Sin Ring, and all the matches come out. That's the only one I watched so far, but holy shit, it's good. And I don't know why I didn't write that down or how I didn't mention it, because that was the best thing I watched. And I'm trying to pull up real fast, but I want to give them credit. Somebody tagged the Violent People Discord or Twitter, and I was like, oh, it's TKG. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, everyone should check that shit out.
It was TK Louis, the comedian?
Yeah, Louis CK. Okay.
People,
all right, but I think that covers wrestling we've all been watching, unless anyone else anything else they want to mention.
People used to... Sorry. People used to tell
Mhm.
my dad he looks like Louis C.K., and then for some reason one day Dad stopped.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, once he pulled
Uh,
his pants up, they were like, okay, we no longer see the resemblance.
that does remind me because just like I almost forgot to talk about like the best match that I watched that I meant to talk about. On the same show right after that is the match that I already referenced that I was going to talk about, which was Titus Alexander versus Yosuke Santa Maria. Um, Titus is like similar to the Max Caster thing that I say, where I'm just like, I don't get why people talk shit about this guy because like he's fine. But yeah, whatever. That match is like whatever. It doesn't. You don't have to watch it, but it's absolutely just like a wrestling match that happened.
Hey, are all those indie wrestlers from out your way? Are they flying themselves to Japan? What's going on?
The Marvelous stuff is kind of interesting because the reason why they go to those shows is because the guy who owns West Coast Pro Wrestling is the guy who runs the Fat Kids Deals Twitter account. And he's a massive money mark. And that's why he paid Chris Hero to book the shows. And that's why he flies all of those wrestlers to go train in Marvelous, is because it's basically like a smaller scale version of DPW. It's just a guy who made like he makes a ton of money off of the internet. And he just does like a wrestling show for fun.
Okay, so he's flying them over. I just didn't know if like
Yeah.
those guys were flying themselves over.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of fucking
Which
nuts.
is funny
Dan
because.
just found his
Oh, go ahead.
Dan just found his new promotion to hate then. If they're small
exactly.
scale DPW.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it's like you should know instantly that it's like some kind of money mark thing because Vinny Massaro like attached himself to it as quickly as possible. Because that guy is like at his core just a fucking old school carny ass worker.
Um, who would you guys say is the second most influential person from a business aspect in the history of pro wrestling that's still alive today?
The second?
The second. Number one being
Uh,
Vince McMahon in this
I
person's
thought
mind.
you were gonna say number one was Ted Turner. So I guess I would say Ted Turner.
Yeah.
Sadly, the answer I'm looking for is Johnny Ace. World-class professional big-time wrestling out of Chillicothe, Ohio has announced Johnny Ace for his first ever autograph signing, and they cannot understand
yeah.
why people are not excited because they've been building it up as that. Well, at first they weren't even saying from the business side, they were just saying this is like one of the biggest legends in the history of the business. And
That's
people were like,
true.
people couldn't figure out. I was like, I guess I get where he's coming from, but it's just so funny. People are like, who the fuck? Because he kept saying he's never done autograph signing before. It's one of the biggest legends in the business. People are like, who the fuck could this be? And it's just Johnny Ace. Like, who gives a shit? But he's bringing his
I
brother, the
mean, the
Terminator.
way to promote Johnny Ace is, to say like shake the hand that was inside Mrs. Baba.
Yeah.
Pit.
Right.
No, they're
Or
doing it
be
the way you
like-
should. They're like wringing him dry. His brother's there, so he's taking pictures with the Terminator. Someone else is there. One of his other tag partners is there, and then Shane Douglas is there, so you can get pictures with the dynamic
Oh, yeah.
dudes.
See, to
Oh,
me, the sell would be falling in line with like Pat's thing. There would be like the germs burn. You have to get like the Filthy Sanchez from the through the lineage, so you could get the Vince McMahon Filthy Sanchez from Johnny Ace.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't put that on the poster.
Yeah, there's still time.
should've.
I think the
Huh.
show's in March, so we still have time to change some of the branding.
Yeah, move some things.
That
move
same
some stuff around.
show, one of the authors of Pain is not going to be there, but it's just so funny because I saw a status that was like Asgam Gamba, whatever he goes by, is not going to be there. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no way anyone knows what this fucking guy's going by in 2026.
When they were
Ugh.
gonna like start a promotion in the UK, that was good
Yeah.
at
I
Who
do.
did?
the Authors of Pain.
Yeah, they were gonna do.
Wait, were they behind that one that was going to have Alistair Overeem?
That
would
would
make
I think
make
they were gonna
sense
have
'cause one of-
Nia Jax.
They were definitely gonna have
Yeah,
Nia
that's the same
Jax,
one,
but
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have Alistair Overeem because one of them is like a UFC connected guy. He's like a major shoot fighter. And
Okay,
those
that's definitely the
those
same thing.
people
'Cause
are all
I
so
was excited
fucking
about
dumb.
seeing Overeem wrestle.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
We got to
Ugh.
get West Coast Pro on that.
Oh yeah, they could book that. West Coast Pro should book fucking oh god damn it, my brain just completely Cain Velasquez versus like really anyone, but like Overeem would be good. Now that I think
Is
he's not acquitted, but he's just like free
No,
from
no,
legal
no,
stuff.
no.
He's not going to
The
jail.
match, Tim. The match is Cain Velasquez versus Chasen Rance.
Yes, that's what we need. And you know who should be special guest referee? Jason
Billy Jack
from
Haynes is in jail, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought he was dead. I was going to say Jason from the Wrestle Voice Radio podcast.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That's the special guest referee.
That's a freak I've been sharing with Tim.
Yeah, he
does an irregular podcast exposing the pedophiles, church burners, etc. of the wrestling industry, who all just by it's so weird how all the wrestlers and promotions he doesn't like are the ones that are full of pedophiles.
Right. Yeah. And the thing I love about Jason is like the way that he can't really stick to how he feels about sex work, because sometimes it's literally the most evil and disgusting thing you could ever do, and then other times it's like it's fine and I'm okay with the women who, and that's their job, and you know what, I like looking at their boobies. But if you are a professional wrestler who does sex work to like supplement your income, you're disgusting and evil. And if you're just like a woman who's a stripper, that's good. I like that.
Oh yeah.
We
VPR.
have
Longtime
Very
just based
listeners,
alert.
longtime followers of internet drama might recognize Jason as one of the freaks from TNA Mecca, the TNA fan forum with the owner who faked his own death, who had an internet feud with Trevor Dame on the Wrestling Observer board 10 years ago.
fuck was that guy's name? Not Big Dog, right?
Chris Regal.
Mark of the dog.
Yeah, Chris Regal. Yep. Okay.
And then he came back as his brother George.
Yeah. And then Abby stole his gimmick.
Someone else did that recently too. Anyway.
Killed themselves on Twitter and then came back?
No, pretended to be dead and then came back, but I can't remember who it was.
It's a good gimmick. I hope I can pull it off someday.
I hope 10 years from now I'm talking about people in the Violent People server the way you talk about people from the old message boards.
Well, there's
I
some
hope the legacy
people
passed
that I
down.
think we will.
But yeah, there's some.
There's listen, there's 300 members. A few of them are fucking freaks.
Yep. I was just reflecting on that today. I'm like, man, there is a really high hit rate on that server, but there's some people where I just want, like, every time they talk, I just want to ban them.
And if you're listening to this, we're talking about you.
That's true. And if you're listening to
Okay.
this, I am inside of your walls and I'm watching you right now, and what you're doing is very bad.
It's like,
I
stop
can
it.
see you, and you need to knock it off.
I know who you're talking. I think I know who you're talking about. And every time I'm just hoping you split up and say something I can get you banned over.
It's funny is that I only have it narrowed down to 2. I don't know exactly what we're talking about. But
It's also funny because you're never gonna get me banned. God damn it! Stop.
he's a mod,
Stop
I think.
it.
So
It's not happening.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Tim, I accept as part of the balance of terror between him and myself.
Tim's baggage. We can't get rid of Tim.
But speaking of the freaks, Tim picked our big top. I'm gonna read what it
That's
is
true.
here. Wrestling popularity cycles with CMLL and WWE bubbles possibly giving way to AEW and New Japan showing growth. Big panel and data and the way freaks talk about this stuff.
Speaking of, did you guys see just now, one of the big new WrestleMania sponsors is Mad Dog 2020.
Hell yeah.
Is that real? I never known people fucking
Yes.
this
So
stuff.
good.
Yes.
Dude, this
As far as I can
WrestleMania.
tell, that's real.
This WrestleMania is fucking grasping, is fighting for life. This year's WrestleMania is like, I'm walking through the neonate ward and I'm just like, I'm basically going, you're not making it through tonight, let alone this week. The way that the ticket sales are fucking looking brutal, they really fucked up. And I loved when they first announced this, that a lot of these, again, the same freaks that I'm talking about for the Big Top, were like, well, yeah, I mean, tons of people are going to be like, this is our last chance to go to WrestleMania, in America, because next year it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, and we're not going to go out there. And it's just like, dude, everyone is just like, this shit sucks. No one wants to go back to fucking Vegas. It's shitty out there. I'm the only dumbass that's like going. I'm driving out, but I'm only going for like the Shooting Star Fest, whatever thing. Because yeah, it's just like, no one fucking cares. No one wants to go to fucking Vegas again. It's hot. It sucks. It's shitty. It's too expensive for what you get. And the tickets are not moving. And so, yeah, them getting a sponsor from MD 2020 makes perfect sense. The only way they could make it better is if they actually have Matt Cross host the damn.
What I like is the mayor here in London, who I like in general, but he's constantly like teasing, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring WrestleMania to London, and he's always like pictured like in photos with Triple H, and it's never coming here. It's just never, never gonna happen.
I think because the United Kingdom got one SummerSlam, it's turned into the what year was it that England won the World Cup?
1966.
Yeah, SummerSlam 92 is the pro wrestling. It's coming home.
Right. Well, the thing about the UK is like America grasps to the idea that the UK is a superpower, like the same way that you want to believe that your grandpa was like a war veteran who like did a bunch of cool stuff. Like America is like, as a superpower ourselves, which is waning and falling off, we try to pretend like the UK is like still, yeah, they're a big deal. They used to really fucking kick ass, but the UK does not have the money to pay for a fucking WrestleMania at this point. Because that's the real answer. You have to like the city / government has to pay a bunch of money to get the show to be there. And no fucking city in the UK is going to waste that kind of money because, again, as it's being proven with this like Las Vegas show, like it's a waste of fucking money. Like bringing WrestleMania to your town does jack shit for you. So why would you just throw your money away for that?
Okay.
So the cheapest ticket price on Ticketmaster for a 2-day pass at WrestleMania is $715. Let me see what that gets you. That gets you like up in the nosebleeds in row 7 of one of the nosebleed sections.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think the last time London had a big event. I mean, like we've
It
had
was all
one.
in.
No, we did. No, we had the Euros. That was big enough. We had the
Yeah.
Euros final.
Yeah, take that, Connie.
I did forget to mention this in the like what have you watched section from Dynamite or whatever, because I think you mentioned like you watched most of Dynamite, Dan.
I did.
Kenny Omega, like for everything that people have to say about Kenny Omega as a promo or whatever, like he sometimes has some fucking zingers. And when he like, because he was like, he's just so natural on the mic, even though people like say like, oh, he's bad and he's awkward and this and that. Like, so when he grabs the mic and he's like, are you finished? Can I talk? Because like Swerve had kept interrupting him. That's the kind of like, big dog thing that you say in a moment like that, where you're just like, I'm not going to like just skip over the fact that you've been fucking with me. But the biggest, like funniest thing he said when he said, you're the most dangerous man in this company. No, the most dangerous man is Brody King, is such a good like ribbon on the square line in a promo that it's just like, that's why Kenny is fucking great. Cause like,
I
that's like,
think a lot of people are bagging on Kenny right now just because he looks so profoundly unwell.
right.
Like
That's
the
fair.
brain is still working, but you look at like his facial expression, you're just like, he's in constant pain.
Yeah. He's got crazy bags under his eyes. He looks like a raccoon. And yeah, he just looks like he can barely walk. He can barely move. But yeah, when he said the most dangerous man in this company is Brody King, and it's like on the night where they're not letting Brody King come out in front of the crowd because they're too scared of pissing off Trump. It's like perfect. Like goddamn, like just an offhanded thrown away line that people don't even catch is just like amazing. Sorry for
I think
interrupting, but I forgot to mention that.
to interrupt your interruption, I think I think he'll retire before he gets up. I do hope we get like physical, like even worse shaped Kenny comes out to like brawl for 5 minutes. Like I want
Yes.
I want that Kenny.
What I want to see is the like move for move recreation of Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens with Kenny Omega versus Kevin Owens when he finally comes to AEW. Like I want to see the same exact match happen. And that could just be like next year.
I just want Kenny to go back to spraying his own nuts with the cold spray. Like, I don't ask a lot of the guy, but that, you know, that was his peak for me.
But yeah, we're
It
talking
might wake
about
him up a bit too.
Oh, probably could, put some pep in his step, as they say. Um, so what the fuck were we talking about WrestleMania, Dan?
Well, kind of talking about your big top in general. I wanted to say I can see that WWE's bubble is bursting and they seem to be going downhill. But are there signs pointing to AEW and New Japan growth that I'm missing?
It's more like, I mean, the New Japan thing is just like that people are enjoying stuff. Like you heard, Porik talking earlier about like good stuff happening on the is it New Beginning show, and like, them
No idea.
actually feeling, is that the name of the show?
I
Anyways,
think so, yeah.
I
Well, or wait, is the
feeling,
one
couldn't
in
tell you.
the one in America's New Beginnings? Maybe they both are.
I think they have
feels
multiple
like
new
they
beginnings, which
Yeah, yeah.
too
ironic
many.
name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that you could have multiple beginnings but only one happy ending. Um, but
In that
yeah,
life.
the idea that like it seems like they're kind of pushing the right people and putting over people who make sense. I mean, that show specifically, even with Jake Lee in the main event, like sold really well and actually sold out the building after Wrestle Kingdom sold out for the Tanahashi retirement. Kind of felt like a positive direction. And I guess part of that too is, like I said, like, and this is just, based on feeling, but the idea that like, okay, you get this echo boom of like, okay, we sold out Wrestle Kingdom because of Tanahashi retirement, but then we sell out the next big show, and in a situation where then the next big show kind of like was a wet fart, you would be like, ah, they fucked it up. But the fact that the next big show like felt like it delivered, at least to me, and like somewhat critically across the board, people are like into it. It does feel like, okay, we're like on the right path, because if you sell out the second show, theoretically off the idea that you've like gotten boosted attendance off of the big show, and then the second show is like back to normal, LOL, New Japan sucks. Sure, whatever. No one's going to come back. But now you're kind of like, okay, like, they did it again. The show was good. So maybe they'll keep this rolling. There has been some positive movement. AEW thing is like the same, like, and it is tough to even like say, because it's Big Tannel. That's that award show that you guys just did.
Yeah. Formerly known
Big
as Big Panel.
Panel. Yeah, the formerly known as Big
Always
Tannels.
very Tannel.
Yeah. Like the Big Panel plus Data thing being like, oh, we can't tell what's going on, but it does feel like AEW is having like they're popping some ratings, especially Tommaso Ciampa somehow, but also like Kyle Fletcher is like, proving to be a pretty like bankable star, all this stuff. And we'll see what happens with this Australia show that's like 50-50 on if it's going to draw, because it's being built up like a major pay-per-view style show, but it's like everything about it is bad. And kind of the main thing that hit me to like come up with this big top idea was listening to underappreciated freaky man Garrett Gonzalez on his show talking about the Australian AEW show, whatever the fuck it's called, being like, because
Grand
he's
Slam.
just Grand Slam Australia, and he's such a fucking WWE homer kind of idiot that like he tried to mask this by like, oh, I just kind of wish that this AEW show on Valentine's Day does bad in ratings because I really hate the idea that people are going to see wrestling fans tuning into watching a show on Valentine's Day. It's like, God, come on, man. I don't want to be like wrestling fans are such losers that we're watching a wrestling show on Valentine's Day. And that was the thing that hit me where I was just like, these people who like they care more about talking about wrestling as a like a show, as a, you know, ratings and draw, are just they like twist themselves into knots to create this like
They're
fantasy
sports
world.
call-in radio guys.
Yeah. It's fucking disgusting. And, you know, this is my major response because I saw, you know, someone on Twitter who did this again where they're talking about it. Like, I think it was like Jimmy Jam Van, who's like, this guy is like fucking questionable, but he's like the
Diva's
co-founder
brother.
of Fightful Radio. Yeah, he's Jimmy's brother. And he's known for his glass bottom boat rides. No, he's like the number 2 guy at Fightful, but he's like not involved. He's like a silent partner at this point, but he was like the number 2 like founder of the company. And he's doing one of these things, and I responded to his tweet, and I was like, if all you care about is drawing money, just fucking pay attention to the stock market. And this is like my go-to always with this. It's like, I guarantee to you that like, you know, Tim Apple draws more money than fucking Cody Rhodes. Like, if all you care about is who draws the most money, pay attention to fucking C-SPAN. That's where they draw actual money. Wrestling is not the place to focus more about who draws the most money.
I mean, I've long held that the people who really care about the, you know, dick measuring as far as who's drawing more money, who's getting more ratings, whatever, those are the people who want to take a team sports fan approach to wrestling. They want to have their team, whether it's the Red Sox or Oakland or whoever, whether it's whatever terrible team Dan likes. But because wrestling is fixed, you can't be like, you know, okay, I'm rooting for, you know, Tommaso Ciampa to win. Like, you can do that, but it's not the same as rooting for like the Red Sox to beat the Yankees. This is something that is quote unquote real and has no fixed outcome. And so that there's that transference of the sports fan desire to see your team win. The only way that can really go anywhere, the only way to really have a team is to become one of these freaks who's like, yeah, well, we won, you know, our division in terms of tickets sold.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say I was less pushing back and more, I guess, demonstrating that like it is not an aspect of wrestling discourse that I find interesting because like I didn't know, like I knew that the Tokyo Dome sold out, but like I didn't know how subsequent shows could go, and you know it is like the lamest thing to do. But you called it the team sport thing, but like I've never cared. Like, I love the Cavs. I don't care how Dan Gilbert's doing. Like, if he was losing money every year putting the team out there, that would not
That's
affect
because
me.
you are, if not normal, then at least normal adjacent.
Well, that really makes me sad.
There are the people out there who really care about, you know, like Dan Gilbert and his pay package and whether he has a company car. These are the people who in the 1990s would be calling into the radio, and the disc jockey would be like, "Oh yeah, here's Keith again. Let's hear your rant of the day."
To speak from like a European perspective, when like the World Cup tickets were coming out and like we're all complaining how expensive it is, a lot of Americans are just like, well, that's what American tickets cost because we're the biggest sport in the world. Like America seems obsessed with having to pay more.
Well, and to Pat's point earlier, it is the idea that it's like this is a metric that is like inarguable of just proving success, as he said, like, because in sports you can be like, my team won because they're a better team. They might not make more money, but that doesn't matter because they were a better team who won. And in wrestling, you don't have that. So what you have is, well, my team, quote unquote, my league, my federation, they won because they drew the most money. And that's kind of how you subvert that natural instinct of being a fucking moron into professional wrestling in the dumbest way possible, where you can't just like accept my show is better because it's better, it's funner to watch. Yeah. I like the
Yeah,
show that's
it's
good for watching. I don't like the show just because it makes the most money, but it's like you need this like inconvertible proof, you can't argue with the metrics, man. The dollars and cents are there. They're
it's
doing the
kind of
best
a
wrestling show. Yeah.
it's kind of a which way Western man situation, because there's a fork in the road where you either become the sort of person who's rooting for real life things in terms of like Dakota Kai is my favorite wrestler and I want to see her get more opportunities so that I see it as a win when she gets, pushed to a title. And then the other path is I need even more competition. I need to, you know, follow the ratings and retweet Eric Bischoff and whatever the fuck.
Right. Because I
Well,
saw.
I wanted to
Oh,
touch
go ahead.
on something that the thing that Poor said about ticket prices is that I actually just saw this. It's kind of emblematic of maybe our country or society as a whole, because locally in Ashland there's a small theater called the Paramount Theater, and it recently has changed owners, and they announced their first guest, and so it's like high on my Facebook feed, and I look at it, and there were multiple people complaining, like mocking how cheap the ticket prices were. It's a gospel singer. I don't know who the person is, but it's just really funny where I'm like, wouldn't that be good? Like, I guess I want artists to make money, but I'm pretty fucking psyched that I could pay $20 and go see a show in my hometown. But people are like, oh my
I mean-
gosh, it's $20 a ticket? What kind of show could it be?
I mean, just to you're all cucked by the people who own your sports team. You got games being played in different countries. What the fuck is going on with all of you?
Actually, you know what? I just said that the minimum walk-in for a 2-day WrestleMania pass in the nosebleeds is like $700 something. Scotland versus Haiti at Foxborough Stadium in like the World Cup group stage. The minimum walk-in for the nosebleeds is $928.
Yeah. So Porik,
So
are you going to go
once
out there
again,
to?
wrestling stays losing.
Yeah. So Porik, are you going to go out there to West Falklands and pay, at least half of your wages for the year on the dole to go see that show?
Well, here's the thing is, so Ireland haven't made the World Cup yet, but they could. We're yet to qualify. And if they do, most of their games will be played in Mexico. And I have family who are half Irish, half Mexican, and even they're not going to the games. To put into perspective, there's we can't, these
Okay.
American prices, it's just fucking ridiculous.
So I'm gonna say
those
this
prices
now.
are not.
So I'm
go
gonna.
ahead, Timothy.
Sorry, Dan. I have to apologize. I have to double apologize. I apologize for interrupting to you, Dan, and I apologize to Porig for being hostile towards you, because we are brothers as being half Mexican, half Irish, because we're basically the same guy. So
Be clear, I am not half Mexican. I have family who's half Mexican.
I mean, you could just say you were, though.
yeah, you might as well.
But no, I was gonna say but also at the same time, these ticket prices aren't for poor. They're not for everyday people, because like I don't know about over there, but the World Cup
Thanks.
tickets over here, I mean, they like have the thing where they have a lottery for the poors. Like there's a lottery if you have a Bank of America card that you maybe get the chance to spend $1,000 on a ticket. It's
Well, to be fair, basically all live shows now at this point are just for Korean people, I think. That's the only people who go to anything. It's based on what I can tell, So everyone else, yeah, they have to like enter a draft lottery to be able to go to things, and then everything else is only for Koreans.
I think you're forgetting
So-
about Klarna.
That's
I want
fair.
to say
That's
my
fair.
football team, Tottenham, largest Korean fan base in all of Europe.
There you
That makes
go.
sense.
Because we have the best Korean player of all time, or we had. So that's why.
when I got tickets to the Eras tour, the first round of tickets, I didn't understand that, like, which just sounds silly now. Like I didn't understand just from a financial standpoint, I should have bought every ticket I was allowed to buy.
Right.
Like I didn't realize that's how the game worked. Now I bought what I needed for my family, and then I logged
you're a
off,
fucking
and then I
moron.
was like, yeah, I didn't think about it at all, and then I was like, oh shit, I guess I could have just fucked everybody. I didn't even
You're a-
consider that.
You're a fucking idiot for not doing what I did, which is like when I used to have to fight to get PWG tickets, I would buy as many as I could get. I would put them all on PayPal credit. I would sell most of them to other people. Then I would get way too drunk. I would spend all of the cash that those people gave me for the tickets on booze and t-shirts, and then I would end up in crippling debt. That I don't know what
Fucking-
you were thinking, Dan.
That's a really good point. I've
Yeah,
been talking about it.
I'm looking at $4,000 Harry Styles tickets right now.
I was
It's
shit.
tempting.
I mean, I've already been talking in the Discord. I have a Crumble cookie scam where Crumble is an hour away from here, but my nieces cheer near it, so I am constantly posting on Facebook that I'm going there, and then charging more than they cost to people,
Of course.
and then bringing them back here, and then so their extra pays for my cookies, and I get the points. I'm fucking.
this is like when I used to
I'm
sell
Crumble rich
heroin.
right now. That's a
Yeah,
good
What is
deal.
Crumble Cookie?
Yeah.
What the fuck is
It's-
any of this?
Crumble cookie. It's an overrated cookie place.
Imagine
Like I said-
imagine a cookie that is 800 calories.
Yeah, pretty
You have
much.
places just for cookies?
We have places just for everything. But
Yes,
yeah.
that's so American.
There's also insomnia cookies. They're closer, and I think people like them less because they're closer. It's harder to,
Yeah,
it's
that's
easier
true.
to get around
That's
here.
true.
So people are like, I don't want them.
I've
I
never
want
had
Crumble.
it-
It's farther away.
Like I said, I've never had a
Sorry,
crumble
I-
cookie, but I totally get that business model from selling heroin. So I get it, man. You sell enough to make it so that you can do heroin for free, and no one loses. No one loses in the end.
I don't mean to stereotype, but can you go to if you're going to the cookie place, can you pick me one up? Is maybe the most American sentence I've ever heard.
That's it. That's
Except
right.
in the true American fashion, I pick up like last time I went, I think I got 9 12 packs. So I picked up, 108 cookies and walked out of there.
So a light snack.
I will say though, my dad, noted drug dealer, he says that's the sweet spot. He says you start out selling drugs and you're just making money.
Mhm.
And he's like, that's fine. He's like, but then you're making money and you're getting free drugs. And he's like, that's where it's great. He's like, then it'll go downhill
That's-
after
yep.
that. But that's there's a
That's
real
the
sweet
peak.
spot right there. Yeah.
So do we think that
Mm-hmm.
AEW is going to reach that point?
Now Tony Khan, he again, he's not playing
The
by the real
snowman.
rules. He could do all the heroin he wants, all the cocaine he
Yeah,
wants,
that's true.
and still book
could
wrestling
corner the
however he
market.
wants.
Imagine if Tony Khan cornered the market on heroin. Imagine if every bit of heroin you were looking for had to pass through Tony Khan before you got to it.
Damn it.
He could do it too.
It would almost make it not worth it.
Almost. It would almost make it not worth it, except for the fact that you get to do sweet, sweet heroin. So you can't argue with
Listen,
that part.
Does anyone, I mean, I think we all wish that Vince McMahon was back, right? We all wish he was still around. But I do think Vince versus Tony is more fun. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that would
Triple
be
H, yeah.
much better for the discourse.
Yeah. It's like
I mean,
Eric
the thing is,
Bischoff
you have to
versus
be-
Vince.
You have to be a certain
ahead.
level of intellectually bankrupt to be like Triple H is my guy. And I'm not even talking in terms of the hyperbolic, Triple H is a war criminal for booking bad shows and for, probably being a racist guy, which he's from Nashua, New Hampshire. So yeah, that's kind of, you can take that as given. But it's just kind of he doesn't inspire the best and brightest to come out and have fun with it. He just gets people who, have Twitter accounts called AEWF slurs.
Yeah, it's
One of those
the-
was in literally that account AWF slur was in Snowboy's reply, but he kept doing an accent over the A in the F slur. I was just
It's so that the word wouldn't get automatically filtered as hate speech.
Holy
That's what we
shit.
call that's what we call the Jonathan Davis exemption. If you've ever seen the
Twitter
corn
don't have
song
that
that's
figured
called
out.
Faget.
Yeah.
The more we talk about wrestling fans, the more I think maybe just scrap the whole thing.
Yeah. The
We need to
problem
go
with-
back to 2020, no people gate.
Exactly.
The peak of
That was
wrestling.
the peak of wrestling. Because
Everyone says that.
It's true. It's true. Because there's just there's no winning, man. Even the people who try really hard to focus on the wrestling. Like the guys who have a spreadsheet of the $1 Million Man suits based on which one is the best, they also still end up being vehemently racist. It's like, how do you pick? Like, what's the, yeah. Either you're focused on the money or you're focused on the honey. It doesn't matter. And you still end up, being led astray.
It is that way though. There'll be some Fed guy talking about AEW ratings, and someone will be like, "Oh, I just really like this match," and you're like, "Hell yeah!" And then they say like just the most after you like agree with them, they say the most out of pocket, disgusting thing ever. You're like, "Fuck, I'm on the wrong side. There is no right side."
Damn it. There is.
My favorite thing is if you ever go to like Instagram and you'll see an AEW post with like 30K likes, the top comment is always, "No one even watches this."
Right.
What's big around here is, at least big around here, people that I'm Facebook friends with in this actual area that aren't like super online, is they all, whether they listen to Jim Cornette or not, they have like the Jim Cornette talking points where they're like,
Right.
I can't get into the AEW. It's too many spots, and I'm like, you're just no way you're watching 2026 WWE either. Because like when AEW came into town, that was like what I saw like people that I like worked with, commenting underneath it, like all this stuff is just too fast paced nowadays. They need to bring back the old school wrestling.
That's the kind of thing that drives me crazy. Like when I watched that fucking Utani, match against Daru or whatever in Lucha Memes, where I was just like I could totally see someone coming away with it that way, especially for me, someone who like doesn't like lucha wrestling or whatever. But like the beginning parts of that match were so old school, Southern wrestling, that it's just like the only way that you can come away with that with like the negative opinion that there was too much spots is literally that's just like you only wanted that to be your opinion. Like you came in with, you've already decided what's happening, and then at the end of it you just stuck with what were expecting to happen, because it was like that was a Southern ass wrestling match. Like Utani, I love Utani again. He's one of my special little guys, but he's such a like he would fit in so perfectly in like Smoky Mountain, like wrestling, because he's just so good at like working the crowd. But he also can do like a triple corkscrew plancha fucking moonsault, and it's just like that's not the point, like being able to do moves doesn't make you bad, right? It's like wrestling is cool, like being able to wrestle is cool, and doing like wrestling moves is cool. And it's just it's depressing when, again, back to the kind of the point of the big top here, the kind of people who all they really care about is proving a point they've already decided about and using like numbers, because that's kind of the worst part about the like ratings conversation. And it's it's the funniest thing, because it's like the proof of like why all of this shit is like made up and fake is the fact that like over the past couple of years, Dave Meltzer, a guy who I've already like talked shit about, in the Wrestling Observer Awards, he like removed voting for top draw. And he just decided, because, for everything you can say about Dave, he's like the purest like autist when it comes to like professional wrestling. And he accepted at some point, like, yeah, there's no reason for people to vote about draw. We can just like prove it. So the top draw award every year now is decided just by facts. Like statistics prove who's the top draw, and this is who wins. And there's no reason to let people vote about it. And all of the people who continue to argue about ratings and draw and all of the money stuff, all you're doing is like wishing that you could still vote for who's the best based on the money thing. And it's like, just give up. It's not an opinion. It's not about like what you think. You're not proving a point. You're really just like screaming into the void.
Especially
We've
because
been
the people who are most likely to do that are also the people who would completely disregard any Dave Meltzer award given, unless it already suited their agenda.
Yeah, what they're looking for. They refuse to just accept like, this is the proof, or just like this is the, widely accepted opinion. Like, no, that's wrong. But
Who won
yeah,
Best Draw
well,
this year, by the way?
I don't remember. because I don't pay attention to this stuff.
Cody, probably.
Probably.
Rhea.
I'm trying to find it. It was not as quick as I thought it could be.
No, we're doing one of the big talking points. Let's get this one out of the way. Why is the PWI not synced up to the normal year? It's weird. Stop it.
At this point, I know it's crazy.
So that's
And,
the
okay.
That's the Luthez Award.
No, there's a top draw award.
Oh, the top draw award too. Okay.
Yeah.
The award issue comes out tomorrow. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, that's why no one knows because
Yeah,
the
that's why I
awards
can't
haven't
find
come
it.
out.
Perfect timing.
yeah.
But back to Porg's point. Okay, yes, I agree with you that the PWI 500 should just sync up to the calendar year at this point. It's ridiculous to pretend like we have to wait for tape delay in 2026. Everything is live. We get most of the tapes pretty much instantly. I do think that death match. I do think that the Canadian deathmatch show that I talked about earlier with Tara Zepp was from January and just came out a couple days ago on IWTV, but that's a rare exception at this point when it comes to it. But I do think that it is fair to let's get on the normal timeline. Let's have the PWI 500 come out in January. But to be fair, I do think that the PWI Black Wrestler of the Year should still come out in March. Just to respect CP time.
Jesus Christ.
Gonna have to check out some of the editing features here tonight. Man, I'm so divorced of Dave and that I didn't realize that he split the award and as an MMA top draw and a pro wrestling top draw.
Yeah.
Imagine, I don't know, the MMA one's really crazy because at least pro wrestling, some of that stuff isn't public, so it's it is a little bit of a gray area, but it's MMA is really easy to see who drew the most pay-per-view buys and who sold the most tickets. I guess we just people want Dave to do the math for him. I don't know.
Exactly. Build a spreadsheet. Tell me who did it. That's all I need to know.
I will say you had CMLL as one of the companies that maybe is on a downturn, but you're watching it.
That's fair. That's fair. I did.
I'd say
I've watched.
as someone.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you go. No, you go.
No, go.
Okay, I would say as someone who hasn't watched close to any AW this year, and I've been off it for a bit. From an outside perspective, I feel like AW is on a bit of a downturn. Maybe it's because I'm in a place that's just I hate MJF all the time. But I think even ever since even Mox losing the title, the company's felt like it's on a bit of a downturn. Not to massive degrees, but I've felt this is just what do I know? I'm in my own bit of the internet, but just feeling people's interest, I feel like it's been on a bit of a downturn.
See, that's funny because that's why I'm I have no way of zooming out because my thing is I've watched more live AEW in 2026 than maybe I did all of 2025. I don't know what that's based on, but so in my mind I'm AEW's hot. I'm watching it.
I think it is. I think that AEW is feeling hotter now than it has been. And part of this talking about again, I don't part of this conversation as a big top to me was not even necessarily about again talking about ratings numbers and all of that stuff because I do find the people who care about that to be loathsome and disgusting, but to really talk about the fact that much like the economic cycle, these things are naturally occurring booms and busts that kind of just happen. And they happen in connection to each other. In that the idea that CMLL and WWE were peaking at the same time, when you think about it, makes sense. People were interested in wrestling as a spectacle. Wrestling, sports entertainment, for lack of a better term, spectacle wrestling being the thing and what is the peak, and then that being countered by like New Japan and AEW kind of feeling like it's starting to build back up as the counter, as more like, what you think of as like wrestling ass wrestling, to be like everyone's kind of getting slightly bored of spectacle wrestling and they're looking for, more bare bones, stiff wrestling with less pageantry. And that kind of like, I just look at it and I go, it doesn't really matter. Everyone like picks apart the minutia and goes like, oh, what are these bookers doing? And oh, this guy's an idiot, and this is this, that, or the other, and blah blah blah, all the little details. But it doesn't matter. It's a bigger cycle that's based more just on like naturally occurring. People go from I'm into this, okay, I'm bored with this, let me move to something that's the opposite. And that's really what causes these ebbs and flows, a lot less than like actually like these are the stars and these are the bookers and they're creating something. Really what's happening is people are reacting to, I'm bored with this, let me look for the next thing. Let me look for the next thing that I find interesting, and less about like actual talent or whatever.
Will say when all those like think pieces came out about like, oh, irony in wrestling is bad and blah blah blah, blah, blah. It's like I'm gonna start watching DDT because I find all of you be making annoying points.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my point. Like it's like people react more to like the overall vibe than they do to like the specific details.
I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head, and like I think we can sum up all the wrestling business and wrestling as like a subjective art is that none of it matters. None of it matters. Um, does anyone else feel like they have anything to say on this big top? I think we need to get into our
Talked about
Q&AR. Oh, you got something to say,
too much.
Park?
No, I was gonna say too much rating talks. We need to go back to this reading Cheesar tweets.
Yeah, we're getting into the good kind of
All
stuff
right,
here.
I'm on it.
Oh God.
Pull them up.
All right. Posts with replies. On X, you can load faster. Oh, 4 minutes. At WWR Stardom, make sure that Natsupoi gets this message, a warning, before her next match with Maki Evil Ito. Natsumi Uesama, I want to make this perfectly clear to you about Maki Evil Ito. Again, this will be a long series of short messages.
Oh
So
no.
I'm gonna stay watching this.
Okay.
I
Please
thought he
keep
was
us
done with
updated.
Natsuki.
Our first question, I don't know how to tell this is from because I forwarded it. It's how many wrestlers on your VP 100 ballot will you be voting for GWE? I'm going to tell you the answer is 14 or 15, and I will not elaborate.
I'm pretty sure this was from Steph. I answered it in the channel because I didn't know I was going to be on.
You're right, it's Steph. Yep.
Let me.
You said
Yeah, I'm
Mox,
not supposed.
Briscoe, Mako, Thatcher, Panther, Hiroshima, Joe, Shibata,
Matt
Akeda,
Mako.
Tanahashi, Aja, both Bucks, and Ishikawa. Oh man, shit, you have more. Hechicero, Higuchi, Demus. Oh, they're contenders, but not
Those
locks.
are the.
Okay.
Did I forget Akeda? Because Akeda's definitely making my ballot.
Hechicero, I think, is probably a lock for my ballot.
Which one? Which ballot?
But both of them.
Both.
Both of them.
Both of them.
I don't think Hechicero even make my ballot for VP 100.
I'll say
Who knows?
it's interesting. I was looking at it, and my list is not set in stone, but there's more guys from the second half, like the bottom half of my VP 100 this year, that will make the GWE than the top half.
Yeah.
I think it's just because a lot of the top half
because
is younger people, so like I'm not comfortable putting them on GWE.
I would have 2 or 3. But one of them he only wrestled one match in 2025. which is Danielson, and I can't imagine having him on my 2025 list. The next one would be Osprey. It would be stupid for me to not have him on my GWE list after famously being the only motherfucker who voted for him last time. But 2025, he didn't have a great year. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'll have him on my 2025 list. The only one who I can say is a lock that I will have on my 2025 list and my GWE list is Moxley.
I was about to say, I gotta imagine Moxley's a lock, but okay, you
Yeah,
said him.
that's the only one who I think is like for sure going to be on both. Otherwise, it's like it's iffy if there's anybody else. I guess maybe Tanahashi, but oh yeah, I would have Tanahashi on both lists. So yeah,
I put Black Terry as my. I have him locked in as my 100. So I mean that's kind of cheating because he's my 100 because I want him to be my 100, and he'll definitely be in my GWE.
sure.
And then I got like some of the standbys, like Necro will make my GWE. And then I got a bunch of
I
old
should
man.
have put Necro.
I got a bunch of old man luchadors like scattered on here that they'll probably make my GWE.
Fair.
But yeah. Mystico, I've seen a
Josh
lot of discussion on
Barnett.
him. He's a tough one. Josh
Josh
Barnett
Barnett
for
might
GWE.
make both lists for me. Yeah.
Okay. I don't even remember what
I
Josh
think I
did
was the
last
only-
year.
I think I'm
Not
the only
enough.
person who voted for Mystico in the VP 2010s.
You're the only person that voted Mystico?
I think maybe it was me and one other person.
I mean, the 2010s were kind of rough for him. Like I feel like his candidacy is the 2000s and the 2020s.
I didn't like it like at 98. I
me
thought there's some
double-check.
good stuff.
But yeah,
But no, Mystico's not making my
I did not
GWE
miss
ballot.
ranking Josh Barnett. I just didn't like any of this.
Sure. That's fair.
So I got to do my research to see which guys drew the most money and drew the highest ratings
Shit.
before I commit
See, I'm gonna have to do.
placing them.
I'm gonna have to do Big Lab for all 100 of these guys, and I'll get back to you to tell you what they scored.
It would be so sick to do that, but then not account for inflation at all.
Here's one from some guy named Tim Pack. Q for DP. What kind of power? Question mark. Now I have to ask you. I didn't know what that meant.
Well, the correct answer is union power, but we will accept NWA power.
Okay.
You know what they
Power
say about Billy
glove.
Corgan, though, is that no one man should have all of that.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a good question from Eamon. Question for the pod. What's your favorite thing to include in the charcuterie board?
Cheese.
Okay, so this is
Yeah, I
tough
mean,
for me. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing
I
with
was just
Cork.
saying, this is tough for me because I'm not a big fan in general, but I do like a charcuterie board to have mini gherkins. I do find
Okay.
a mini pickled gherkin to be like signs of a high class charcuterie board. It adds
Mm.
brightness that not a lot of other things add that kind of like bright citrusy flavor. Everything else is like a lot more umami, and it really can take it to the next level.
There was one Christmas where me, my sister, my cousin were drunk, and we kept calling it dolphin pussy, which is charcuterie board, shark coochie, dolphin pussy, and it was making my
Okay,
aunt so
I get it.
mad. I don't. I mean, it's only funny if you've had as much cocktails as we had, but that's just when I. But yeah, I want. This is weird. I want the meats and cheese. I need some fruit. I need some sweetness on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just at least throw me a grape if times are tough.
Okay, but when you say some fruit, like you said, you just said a grape. Do you only want fresh fruit?
I'll take a
How
dried
do you
fruit.
feel about dried fruit? Because
I love
a
dried fruit.
apricot, to me, I feel like I'm not getting a ton out of a dried apricot that I'm not getting from like a fruit or a piece of meat. You know what I mean? Like, but as I talked about with the gherkin, like getting the fresh zip of a plump grape is very different, So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
fair. Yeah.
know. So you're saying fruit in general. You'll take
In
a
general,
fresh
I
or a
do
dried fruit.
want
Okay.
I would take either. I mean, I am with you. I prefer a fresh fruit, but I'm just happy to be
Because
invited
that's
where the
the
charcuterie boards are.
yeah, that's the thing about a charcuterie board, right? Is a lot of it is again very
That
umami.
is the thing.
That's the major thing. But having something that has some freshness makes a huge difference. Even flowers, even something like a rose, anyways, a dandelion, these things can add freshness.
You know what I don't want? I don't want honey.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah, I
I
don't
think
need
I
it.
think I don't need it, and people make a mess, and I
Mm-mm.
don't want honey.
Mm. You know what I'll take before honey is a fig. A fig, cut up figs, they'll give you the
I'll eat a
same
fig.
sweetness as honey, but without the mess.
We don't have to sit there with the
People,
little
it is 4
freaking
a.m. for
wooden
me.
shit. What's that?
It's 4 a.m. for me. Can we
Oh my
move to the
god.
next question?
Oh my god. You don't have more to say
Oh,
about
I'm sorry.
charcuterie?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Listen,
What a fig.
you can blame Chris for this. Isabel, summer or winter?
I don't summer.
Summer.
Okay, I
Historically,
agree.
I'm a winter, but I've started to appreciate
Well,
summer.
you're in Southern California. Your
Right, right.
winters are not the same.
Now they
Right.
may have wanted this to be attached to that, but they didn't do it. So, favorite Olympic sport?
Oh. Um, the one with the guns. You know the summer one where you go through the snow and you have a shotgun? That's the one.
Yeah.
It's
Biathlon.
not a shot. Yeah.
I liked the pictures I saw of like men's doubles luge,
Hell yeah.
where it was just one guy fucking the other one up the ass while they were on the luge, and I'm just like, that is like fucking David Cronenberg directing Crash for the Olympics.
I like whatever the one with the penis doping scandal that's going on right now. That's my favorite one.
I can make a
about, like,
joke, but I'm going to
bedroom.
watch the most Olympic basketball or hockey, so.
No, I'd probably go boxing because, yeah.
For posterity, Pork is talking about ski jumping.
Oh, thank you.
This one's from Pork. Q4DP. Pitch your 30-second Violent People Super Bowl ad. A little late for that.
Nah.
Kind of a bad question from a
It's
bad
the
person.
episode. It's the episode after the Super Bowl.
It should be before the Super Bowl, but it's never going to. How are we going to air this?
For
Did you
next
ever
year.
Did you ever see the WWE Super Bowl ad?
Like they're walking through the office.
The Office.
And
Yeah,
at
I've
one
seen
point
that.
they show like a guy fucking some chick on the copying machine. It's in the ad. That would basically be the Violent People Super Bowl ad.
I think that's the way to
I
do
think
it.
it
That way
would
we can
be
fit all
one
the
of
crazy
those.
characters in it.
That's
I
true.
think it would be one of those treacly, emotionally manipulative ones where they're playing like a pitch down, slow and sad female song cover of like "Shout" by Tears for Fears, and it would be showing like Billy Jack Haynes and Chris Benoit and Ian Rotten and all that stuff, and some narrator on the level of Sam Elliott would end by saying, like there'd be some speech about good wrestlers,
Better people.
ending with better people.
That's good shit, actually. That's not my answer. That's what I said. Nick Yeoman said, question for the pod. If you were tasked with
okay,
putting
I don't
together.
get to answer my own question.
Oh my gosh. You just told me to hurry up. Answer your question.
Okay. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. It better be good.
Steve,
Yeah, you interrupted me.
You have 30 seconds.
Steve
make me
Carell
come
reading
soft.
Andrew Cheesar tweets.
Okay. All right. You know what? I wanted to be mad, but I love it.
You're right. All right, Nick Yeoman. Question for the pod. If you were tasked with putting together an elite 4-man team to pull off a daring diamond heist, but you can only choose from the field of the 2026 MLW Battle Riot match, who are you choosing and why? I'm going to say just choose. You don't got to tell me why. I go first because I mean, I feel like I know the Battle Riot better than the rest of y'all. It's got to be Baba Thunder. It's got to be PWH. It's got to be Madman Fulton and Matthew Justice. I will take no questions.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Paul London as the finesse guy, the charmer. I'm going to go with Doc Gallows because he can pretend to be Festus and elude trouble. Stake out the place while everyone's just like, oh, he's sweet and special. I'm gonna go with Matthew Justice because you might need to jump off of something at some point. And I'm gonna go with Sidney Akeem. He would be the Chinese guy from Ocean's 11. The one who everyone thinks is Jet Li, but wasn't.
Holy shit, I thought that was Jet Li.
It's not.
That might be racist on accident.
I can't believe it.
I prefer to be racist on purpose. Tim, you have a group, 4-man?
I do. But I kind of wanted to go last because I think I have the best.
Okay,
one.
Pork, you got a 4-man?
I think Austin Aries, Alan Angels, Adam Brooks, and Alex Hammerstone, the 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit. That's tough to follow, Tim.
That's pretty good. But this is why I wanted to go last, because I go number 1, Gallus. All 3 members of Gallus, because they have experience doing crimes together. And then number
shit.
4, Don Gatto. Number 4 is Don Gatto because he's my man on the inside when it comes to stealing diamonds because he's a rich millionaire. So, yeah. So you get 3 known
I feel like
criminals.
that plan would go to shit as soon as a teenage girl walked within a half mile of wherever.
Fair. That's pretty, yeah. Okay.
Orchid, question for the pod. Which of the VPR hosts smells the nicest? Let's have Porrick and Tim answer this one. And you can do
I have no sense of smell.
the core 4. Even though Sam's dead, so he smells like shit.
Yeah, I got no sense of smell.
Okay. Tim, do you have any thoughts on this?
That's not a joke. I actually have no sense of smell.
Did COVID take it, or you never had smell?
Okay.
I hit my head really hard when I was 4. And it just killed all the neurons in it.
That's fair. So this is what I want to say. I think that it would be Chris if it wasn't for the fact that I don't like coffee. I think that most people would say Chris because they like the way that coffee smells. So I'm willing to accept that I'm an outlier. And that's kind of my go-to answer. Otherwise,
Chris was going to be my answer.
Yeah.
So
I would say Chris, yeah. But I don't like coffee.
it's
so.
not me. I've been walking around all day and I fell
Right.
asleep before taking a shower. So
Yeah, you
I
stink
do
like
not
dog
smell
shit.
good right now.
Yeah, Sam, obviously, no good. He smells like fucking yeast or whatever from the bakery that he lives inside of. Dan, Dan maybe, because Dan does selling houses. They stage the houses with the cookie stuff and all that. They try to make it smell like baked goods. That stuff is all nice.
Yeah, Dan,
but
you might. Do you smell like
Yeah.
crumble after going on one of your crumble runs?
All the
Right.
time.
It's probably Dan, honestly, but I don't want to give him that because it feels fake. He's doing it to be staged. He doesn't have that natural smell.
I will
But,
say that is
yeah.
the thing. I smell good when I have to. Like, if I got nothing
Okay.
going on, I'm going to be a stinky bitch.
Okay.
Uh,
So yeah. So anyway,
Dogamori, who would you cast in a reboot of the Mission Impossible series where all the main characters were wrestlers? Please include the main spy protagonist as well as their support team. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do
Nope.
this.
I don't know.
Aaron says, wait.
Same answer as for the MLW thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Wait. Okay, here we go. Porrick, what Winter Olympic sport do you think you'd be the best at? Pork, did you have an answer in mind when you asked this question?
I figure I'm very short. What's a sport a short person would be good at for the Winter Olympics?
Okay, for me, I have the answer. Winter Olympics, the sport that I would be the best at is snow bunny hunting.
I think
Well-
I'm gonna be like that Australian guy in the skating race, where they all just took each other out and then he won the gold.
I think I'd be
that's my
bad at
plan.
I'd be bad at all of them, but, like, a bobsled, there's, like, 3 other guys, right? So maybe that's the one where I could get the most help.
You just be in the middle.
Yeah.
Fair.
Pat?
I mean, I think you're on the right track because I'm looking at the list and I'm like, yeah, I'd be bad at all these. The upshot of my job is that I have good cardio, but like not Olympic cardio. And I haven't been skiing since I was single digit age.
You hit your head and you can't smell anymore. I heard that story.
I think I could do the broom in curling. Like, just the broom bit.
I feel like the throwing of the rock is easier than the broom part.
No.
Yeah.
And also the throwing, you can blame the broom if it doesn't work. You can be like, "I had it perfect, you fucked this up. You're bad brooming."
I gotta say, skeleton looks like it would be the most fun.
Um, the next question is Dokomoy. Question for the pod. This one's way shorter. I like this one better. Which wrestler is most likely to have watched the All-American Halftime Show but not watched any of the Super Bowl? I think I have a definitive answer of someone who I
All
know
of
did.
them?
I think Necro Butcher just watched that. I don't think he watched the actual game, which is not at all surprising.
I'm
My
gonna say
answer-
every Japanese wrestler.
Yeah.
Fair. My answer would be Brian James, the Road Dogg Jesse James, because he's like firmly a football is worked guy. Like I've heard him on shoot interviews say that he thinks that football is fake.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah. So
Script.
like he would definitely not watch football, but be like, I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl. And then but my question would be like, does he count as a wrestler? Like, does this mean active wrestlers only?
Active wrestlers is still just probably most of them. Pat, you have an answer?
I'm trying to think of which wrestlers would just not care about the Seahawks or the Patriots. The wrestlers who would just be like, I don't want I want a Super Bowl where they both lose. So I think it would come down to team loyalties. I don't know who is a big booster of what team though.
Okay. Amen. Question for the pod. If you were to lie about your age, what's the youngest you think you could trick the people you worked with into believing you were?
Honestly, no one at my work believes that I'm 40.
They think you're at least 50?
Yeah, no, they think I'm in my 20s, and I'm just like, are
Shit.
you fucking blind?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I
what?
say no. I'm 37. I could probably trick people thinking I'm like a rough 32.
I'm similar to
Yeah, I mean, that's the
Patrick.
thing is like, I feel like at my youngest, I look like 39.
I'm
I'm
similar to
in
Patrick that like if I shave my beard, people think I'm in my 20s, and still to this day. So yeah, I could convince people that I'm not legally allowed to drink at this point.
there's a slightly different question for me. Uh, think I'm in that. I'm still in the age where like if like Disney did a movie set in a high school, I'm who they cast. I'm quite young. I'm quite short. I'm youngish. Quite short. I can't grow a beard. I get ID'd everywhere.
Okay, so
I
for
think
you, it's what's
fifth-
the oldest you think you could be?
Yeah.
Oh, 25.
That makes me
I
sad.
think even that's maybe pushing it.
Yep.
I think I could play like 14 and it wouldn't be that weird.
That pisses me off, but all right. Question for the pod from Orchid. Who do you think will be the next wrestler to die shortly after performing at Joey Janela's spring break? Yeah.
Joey Janela.
Oh, Joey Janela's
I
great.
think there's gonna be a tragic plane situation.
I like that. My dream is that it's Val Venus.
I don't think they would let him onto a Joey Janela show.
Too woke.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's true.
What
That's
if they do? And this this is like a thing they do is after the Sandman match, they run that Invisible Man died a few days later.
The Invisible Man has already died and come back.
But they do it like the exact same time period as when Sabu passed compared to the match.
Yeah, they started talking about how they gave the Invisible Man cradle.
He was in no condition to perform. Fucking Joey. See, I was thinking, I was getting sad. It's like, it's Jimmy Lloyd. Let's see. Question for the for the podcast. Oh, I'm not doing this. Fuck you, Pork. I like that you can tell I'm reading them. I'm reading them in real time. Like, I'm not be doing that. A lot of banter about that one.
Please, I prepped for it.
Do you want to get? Do you? All right. Question. Please book a full J Cup, 20 wrestlers of just wrestlers whose name starts with J. Bonus points if both the forename and surname start with J. Each host, 20 wrestlers, must be completely different from the other host. Please and thank you.
Okay. Well, before we even start this, number one, don't care. Fuck it. Winner does everything. Josh Bodum. Done.
I can respect it.
Pork, let's hear your answer you prepped for.
I went to Cage Match and just put the letter J in and see what the first 20 results were.
Oh, great prep.
Okay.
My tournament has Jay Austin, Jay Bogie, Jay Bronson, Jay Cruz, Jay Fowler, Jay Garrick, Jay Hazard, Jay Maney, Jay Manny, Jay Natteras, Jay Pierce, Jay Rapier, Jay Serious, Jay Miles Swag, Jay Bowler, Jay Biggs, Jay Boy, Jay Buster, Jay Cash, and Jay City.
Okay, have any of you seen a Jay Serious match?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay. Jay Serious was like a nearly mini-sized wrestler from Texas who used to work indie shows like in the era with Sammy Guevara, Ricky Saints / Ricky Starks, and what the fuck is that guy? Lee. What am I trying to think of? Keith Lee. He was like actually pretty decent wrestler. Anyways, continuing on.
Okay. Q for the P. Which famous serial killer, this is from Cole, which famous serial killer would you sick on Pork in revenge for asking that question? That's good. I think,
Sam.
oh shit. I think Eileen Warnos is having a moment right now on TikTok, so we'll do her.
A nice one who like wouldn't kill me and just like bring me ice cream.
I think I'm gonna do Jeffrey Dahmer so that he fucks and eats him.
Shit. All right.
Yeah.
This is a good one from some guy named Sam. Question for the pod. Who is the ugliest person you are voting for on your VP 100 ballot?
Mercedes
The
Moné.
woman listening to this podcast.
Did you say Mercedes Moné?
That's fair.
That's so funny. I was looking for a woman to say. That's good shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Sam Damasio from his work in the Mad Dog versus D-Moose match.
Good shit. Good shit.
Actual answer, Matt Tremont. But like compliment. I say that as a compliment.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a tie between all of the Murder Basement guys that I watch, where all of them just kind of look strung out.
See, mine's probably Makoro, right?
What? Wait, are you not voting for Tremont?
I don't find him to be ugly.
Sorry, I'm coming out as anti.
It also, I guess,
it looks way worse.
I don't have Tremont on my top 100. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's a different issue then.
Yeah, that's pretty wrong, man. I mean, he should be at least top 5.
I don't have Tremont, and then I want you to know wherever he is on my top 200, Slade's lower. I'm still mad about everything.
It also depends on like if you mean just physically ugly or like morally or
Oh, Necro Butcher's on my list.
Yeah, because if you're gonna say like ugly in that way too, I would probably have Shingo Takagi would probably be the ugliest because as a person he's disgusting.
Nakagi's making your ballot?
Yeah,
I'm more insulted by that.
What about
well, he didn't have the worst 2025 anyway. Drake
Younger, he's pretty ugly on the inside.
Yeah, that's true.
Question
Speaking
for
of,
Pork. You went fucking nuts on this.
Cheesar has
Oh, go ahead.
Cheesar has
Cheesar update.
continued his thread.
Okay, good.
Any woman that will win a match against another opponent, then hug her opponent, and then finally kick the opponent in the vagina is one hell of a true, mean, nasty, cold-blooded, shikheishu convict on death row for you Americans.
That's
Basically, Natsupoi, what you are really doing in this upcoming match is fighting Tekla Kaishari all over again. I am not trying to flatter you and Aya Sakura, but I am being perfectly honest with both of you that each of you must have more athletic talent and martial skill, ... So, to be continued.
To be okay.
So,
To be continued.
Dan, did you
Yeah.
notice the way that that Patrick said Tekla?
He said it the right way. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And
did.
I still look more like
new
a fool.
thing.
Yeah,
I don't think he knows wrestling is fake.
that's true.
He
That's true.
knows computers are fake, but he doesn't know about wrestling. Can I say that the question? It's so clear that Pork did not know he'd be on this show. Question for the
That's true.
podcast:
Yeah, well-
best wrestler name to say in a Trump voice.
Oh,
I mean,
To be fair,
it's
you
China.
can tell.
no. It's got to be
You
Gypsy
can
Joe.
tell.
Imagine Donald Trump saying Gypsy Joe.
That's a hate crime.
Yeah.
I don't say you can tell if it's a Porrick episode or not because it will be a lot shorter if it's not a Porrick episode because no one else asks questions.
I want you to know I think this might be the longest non award show episode ever.
Yeah,
Sorry. Since
Tim
the
ranted
last
about
time
wrestling
I was on,
fans for
I say-
40 minutes.
Well,
Yeah.
we're sneaking up on the award show times, even actually. Now that I look at it,
that's me. I make it.
And
I
my
stretch
answer
it
is
out.
hide and Mike.
I like it, and I want to keep Pork up even longer. Dokamoy, question for the podcast: what politician is the most likely to be a deathmatch enjoyer? I feel like Tim's got a good answer for this.
Ooh. What politician?
I feel like John Fetterman is just stupid enough to be watching the murder basement shows unironically.
John Fetterman only
Right.
likes David Starr.
That's true.
That's his thing. I mean, the easy answer is Lindsey Graham. Lady G likes to get nasty, you know. So yeah, that's probably the easiest.
I don't, the thing is, I don't think deathmatch wrestling has enough body guys for Lindsey Graham.
That's fair. But just all right. Let's see. Okay. I pick out who's damn, that's tough. Now I'm like,
No, it's RFK Jr.
yeah, that's. But I feel like you could,
Especially
yeah.
if you go back to like the old IWAMS stuff where they were like bringing dead lobsters into the ring.
Right.
Anything
yes.
that is morally reprehensible in terms of actual animal cruelty, all of those matches.
Right. That's
RFK
definitely
Jr. is their front row. Like, yeah, get me with the lobster gut.
right. Yeah, that's pretty perfect.
He's bringing a whale's head to a fans bring the weapons match.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who was that fucking wheelchair guy that got kicked out of the Republican Party for talking about
Madison
the orgies?
Cawthorn, I think.
Yeah, he's
Cawthorn?
definitely like a modern deathmatch guy for sure. Like he's a big fan of Little Sicko, but he's not necessarily a politician anymore. But yeah, I definitely see RFK fitting with exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
I'm going to make
anyway.
it UK and go Lee Anderson.
Okay. For like the no ring bar show Christian Casanova type matches, that's an AOC kind of deathmatch show. Like she's, she worked in a bar, she's comfortable there, it's fun, they play like fucking Madonna songs throughout the match or whatever. So yeah. Anyway.
AOC is like nodding her head profusely as like Casanova Valentine talks about how it's performance art.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
AOC is retweeting Cara Noir's manifesto.
Which I forgot to I said I forgot to mention the last episode that Casanova Valentine just did I can never remember his name when I fucking do these stupid podcasts. The fucking son of the director, PWG guy.
Max Landis.
Max Landis. Casanova Valentine
that
did a
guy.
2-hour podcast with him last
Hell
week.
yeah, he did.
Cool.
And I think that fucking rules, and we should all listen to that after you
It was
listen to
about
this.
how secretly awesome Triple H was.
I mean, there's no way to
Right.
know. I can tell you that. Actually, I can tell you. Apparently, 1.5 thousand people know. That's fucking depressing as hell. All right. I think we might have our last question from Shrimp Biscuit 420. It's Andy. It's a very good one, and it's probably my favorite question I've ever gotten. Questions for the pod. How was everyone's week? Are remembering to drink water? What is something you're looking forward to this year? My week, fantastic. I always drink water. Next weekend, my youngest niece goes to her first cheer competition of the year. Her other two, due to no fault of their own, were canceled, and so I'm really excited to see them finally compete. Pork, answer those 3 questions right now.
My week has been mixed. Ireland lost to France. I felt pretty bad. Tottenham finally sacked the manager. That's very good. I'm very happy about that.
You're
I
taking
drink
pleasure in
water.
someone losing their job.
Oh,
That's
I
disgusting.
would take pleasure. He should have been executed in the middle of the field. I fucking hate him. I hate everyone from Denmark now because of him. I'm never eating a Danish again
I think
because
we've
of him.
insulted every fucking country in this episode. It's pretty exciting.
All right, real quick. I like to eat Danishes during the day and Nightishes during the night.
That one's definitely funnier after 2.5 hours of this.
Hell yeah, it is.
To jump ahead, my thing that I'm excited for is I'm about to see Nine Inch Nails. So
Tonight?
Hell
Or
yeah.
right now?
no,
I
this
know.
weekend.
Oh, that's exciting though.
My
So Pork, are you
my
drinking water?
girlfriend's coming. I'm drinking water. I've had it. I'm not like a blind fanboy, but I enjoy water.
Okay, so your
Big.
girlfriend's coming. You're bragging about stuff like that.
No, she's coming to visit tomorrow. She's coming over from Estonia
Oh, okay.
next week, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh,
I'll tell
So
her
I
we said
can't
hi.
do the episode next
I
week.
knew that you
So
guys
you're
went.
on your own.
I knew that you went to Estonia. I don't think I realized she lived in Estonia.
Yeah, no, it's a long distance thing.
That's cool.
I like getting Estonia'd.
Hell
Which
yeah,
is what I'm
brother.
gonna do after this.
Have you become me during
I
the
actually-
final few minutes of a podcast?
I actually really think this is important because of your job. Are you drinking water, Pat?
Yes, I am.
Because your
though
job-
I've had a very bad week.
Yeah.
2 days so far this week. I've been out until 7 p.m. delivering mail. It's a shit show right now. And I mean, there was a reason why I got home from work, sat in a chair, and then woke up 3 hours later, like, oh my god, I got to record with these guys.
I figured you were either sleeping or something bad has happened. Because I'm like, well, Pat would just say, "Hey, fuck you guys, I can't come on," or you'd say, "I'll be on now." So I thought maybe you were passed out. You're doing
Yeah,
the
I know, I'm
fucking.
just-
I would say you're doing the
Dead.
Lord's work out there. You're kind of doing the devil's work out there.
That's true.
No, but like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing Nightish Nails. I'm, things seem like they're trending upward. Like right now, work really sucks, and I don't have time to do anything fun because I just get home and fall asleep. But things seem to be trending in a positive direction, and once daylight savings kicks in, once the spring weather gets here,
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to that. When the weather brightens up a bit and the snow melts.
Oh, it's some UK weather update. We've set a record. It's rained every day of the year.
Hell
Oh my
yeah.
god, what a
Hell
nightmare!
yeah. That's
I
what we're
haven't
talking
seen the
about, bro.
sun
So
in
I will
2
say,
weeks.
I don't like delivering mail in the snow. I really hate delivering mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And
It's way
the
worse.
letters get too wet.
Yeah, no, I
But
mean,
then you can
I'm
see-
just looking. I'm looking
you
at
can
them
see
turn to
through
paper
it
mache
then.
in my hand.
Paper mache.
Tim-
That's Shane McMahon's wife. That's her name, right? Paper mache.
Yes.
Tim, I will need
I'll
all
answer
3
the
answers
question.
before I
All right.
let anyone leave.
All right. How's my week been? Bad, weird, good. I got paid to walk for 6 hours a day for 3 days. That was just good
Welcome
for
to the
me.
club, brother.
Yeah, I fucking hated that it fucked up my schedule to where I didn't like lift weights like I normally do. I'm a big fan of the Hannibal Buress song "I Lift Weights." I think it's good for you. Drink water always. Number one most important thing in life is always to drink water. It it's literally it gives you life, folks. It's fucking weird to me when I talk to people and they're like, "Water, I've never heard of it." I'm like, "Water, I've barely seen her." No, fuck
Well,
off.
no,
Water
that's
is
for boats. That's for boats,
yeah,
not for mouths.
yeah, exactly. And what am I looking forward to in the year moving forward? I think I'm like I've already like, I've already like started putting the feelers out. I'm building it up, but I do think that this year for my birthday, I might be able to get my bitch wife to do a 69.